What's going on Facebook? What's going on YouTube? I appreciate you guys so much. I have a few stories I want to talk about today. The first one is The Office. I guess a bunch of losers like complained or something, and for some reason people listen to these losers. And Comedy Central's taking the Diversity Day episode off of Comedy Central or whatever. We're going to talk about that. It's just ridiculous. I also want to talk about two senior FDA vaccine leaders step down as agency faces a decision on boosters. So two people from the FDA step down at odds, apparently, allegedly, reportedly, with the Biden administration. Pfizer, apparently, according to the Hill, National File, many others, Pfizer launches late-stage study of a pill to treat COVID-19. If you're having fun with the jabs, pills on the way too. Pills, jabs. This is a blast. I mean, Big Pharma is just the best. They got everything you could ever want. So some Pfizer pills on the way, possibly, folks. Don't get too excited. I also wanted to tell a story about a bunch of Chicago bus drivers. Apparently, according to Chicago Sun-Times, 73 bus drivers quit, supposedly over Chicago Public Schools vaccine mandate. And it says that it's a highly unusual move. Yeah, it's so unusual. Yeah. The move is so unusual. I wonder what else is unusual. Maybe mandating this type of stuff. But anyway, they're panicking, and apparently, reportedly, they're looking at Uber and Lyft to do the bus rides or somehow get the kids to school because the bus drivers are quitting. So non-compliance is going to happen all over the place. There's going to be shortages, and it's going to be a fascinating year, to say the least, to see what happens to these hospitals, schools, etc., when enough people stand up for themselves. So that's it for today. I'm about to go off, and I have to say a few things. First off, I'm grateful to be here. I watched the Diversity Day episode. I found it on YouTube and just paid $1.99 or something to watch it. And I was like, man, what a lucky guy I am. I get to watch The Office for my job because I wanted to know what the hell I'm talking about before I talk about it. I've seen it before, but I had to re-see it again. I do like The Office. And also I wanted to say I've been interviewing some cool people. And today I interviewed Lord Jamar, who's a legendary hip hop artist, one of the, original MCs, I think. And also really, really smart guy who's unapologetically himself. And we did such a good interview. It's on YouTube right now, but I'm going to move it. It's on BitChute, Rumble, rumble.com/DreamRare, BitChute.com/DreamRare. I even uploaded it to Gab TV, DreamRare. These are alternate platforms, but our conversation was so real, I don't even know that we could put it on Facebook and YouTube. We're being led by authoritarians who pretend to be like liberals or social justice advocates. So our conversation was so raw, I'm not even sure I could put it here. So BitChute.com/DreamRare. BitChute does great work. Rumble.com/DreamRare. You can check out that interview there. Speaking of authoritarians, I just want to say with The Office, I think this is so funny. He just put Martin Luther King on his head. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But these leftists, like whatever you want to call them, liberals, I don't even care about politics for this moment, but they act like authoritarians, but they pretend to be activists, right? They're just authoritarians. They are, you could call them communists, whatever, and people say fascists, blah, 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 Nazis. I would just say authoritarians, and they're so good at pretending like they're such great people, but they're horrible people, and they are like the worst regime that won't allow anything. So if you've ever seen the episode, it's hilarious. Michael Scott, he's very tone deaf. That's the whole, I don't know if irony would be the right word, but that's the whole comedic part of The Office is Michael Scott's kind of an idiot. And that's what makes it funny. If everybody in the office said, oh, we all get along, we all agree, we all are non-offensive, we're all perfect, it wouldn't be a funny show. The dynamic of like, that's the funny guy, that's the Dwight's goofy, Michael's like kind of annoying and kind of cringy. How do you even do comedy without characters? If there are no racial elements to it, if there are no, religious elements to it, if there is no, bad and good character, there is no dynamic. I don't understand what liberals don't understand about that. But, in the episode, I guess they pulled it off of Comedy Central because people complained. I guess, they don't want to air it. There's a lot of racial, I guess, jokes in the episode, but that's kind of what makes it funny. I don't know what really else to tell you. It isn't like you watch the episode and you think, oh my God, that's so smart. Like, people don't watch that and think, oh my God, Michael Scott's such a smart guy. He's really a great boss. He's really a great leader. people look at that and think, man, he's so funny. It's so funny how like dumb he is. It's so funny how insensitive he is. That's what makes it funny. I don't know really, I'm not going to talk about this too much, but it's like, I don't understand what these authoritarians pretending to be liberals think is going to happen. There is no comedy if there is no dynamic. If your father-in-law isn't crazy, the joke's not funny. You need a character. You need somebody to be like the crazy one, the funny one, the unlikable one, the weird one. That's all comedy has to do with: race, religion, family orientations, like, you know, your kids, gender. That's like the whole genre. That's the whole thing. So I don't know where this ends, but I think a lot of people know where it ends. I guess my question is, why are people at Comedy Central listening to it? Is it like the leadership there? Is it like they agreed on that or something? But I think it's a very small minority of people who complain. And I guess maybe that small minority of people are in high level positions at these corporations or something, or they cave or they're scared. It's time to just stand up to these people because it's really unpopular. And I would say liberals, conservatives, progressives, people of all kinds, right? Everybody likes The Office. Maybe not everybody, but this would be a great, if I were a politician, I wouldn't even talk about like, oh my God, unemployment. It's like, yes, I'm unemployment, homelessness, talk about it all, but be like, I won't cancel The Office. If I run for office, if Republicans win, we won't cancel The Office. We will not try to force vaccinate you. You know, we will allow you your bodily autonomy. I think that's going to be a very popular, you know, platform moving on forward, because it's only going to get worse. And these people are not liberals. They're not activists. They're not social justice heroes. They're not saving Black or Hispanic people or women. They're authoritarians, and they don't understand the core aspects of comedy. There has to be a good, evil, funny, not funny, cringy, like likable dynamic, or there's no character plot. The whole thing is just like, and that's why they don't make anything funny anymore. They're destroyers. They can't build anything. They're not funny themselves. So they have to ruin everything else. Like, make a freaking joke. Be funny. You know, if they're so bad, you make something better. These people can't make something better. So they have to tear everyone else down. I want to say this before I move on. When I was watching The Office, I realized there's no laugh track. And I thought it was pretty interesting. I was like, The Office is so funny. They don't need a fake laugh track. Like, ha, 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 ha. Laugh tracks are such a psyop. It's like Seinfeld. He's like, hey guys, I just came to the store, and it's like, ha 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 ha, and everyone's like, you take the laugh track out, it's not that funny. I mean, I know some people here like Seinfeld, but in general, I think Owen Benjamin did a great little bit on that, and he mentioned the fact that, you know, he played it without the laugh track, and I'm sorry, but that particular episode was not nearly as funny without the laugh track. I'm not saying it's not funny at all, but you know, The Office never had a laugh track, and it's like it's such good timing that you don't need fake laughter. It's like you'll laugh naturally. You don't need someone to tell you when to laugh. But anyway, you know, that's it. I hope that, you know, The Office has such a big fan base that they rise up and crush cancel culture. It really comes down to just people saying something, and maybe that's a boycott from Comedy Central. I don't really know. Comedy Central sucks anyway. It's not funny anymore. You're better off just watching, you know, independent comedians like Ryan Long, etc. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, BitChute, Rumble. Second story I want to talk about is the Joe Rogan situation. So Joe Rogan tested positive for COVID-19 or whatever. I guess he took a PCR test or something, and it came back positive. And Dylan said The Office is my favorite show of all time. Take my money. It's really funny. I've always liked it when I was younger, and it's gotten a lot popular. My stepmom loves it too. Shout out to my stepmom. It's her favorite show. But I'm trying to think what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Joe Rogan tested positive for COVID-19, and he put up this video. And as soon as I watched it, I was like, holy crap, this is really going to piss off like liberals and these medical psychopaths. Because I guess Joe Rogan pretty much just told people like what happened. He was like, this happened. You know, I felt really sick. And then he talked about his medical regimen, and he took all sorts of stuff. I mean, I wouldn't personally do it, but he's like, I took this. He took Ivor blank blank, you know, the horse drug or whatever that they're trying to smear in the press now. And he's like, I feel great. It's been a couple of days. I feel awesome. And I shared it on Twitter, and it's getting like tens of thousands of like likes and comments. I'm like, uh-oh. I knew it was going to make them mad, but I was like, they're so mad that Joe Rogan feels better. And I guess, you know, he's been very outspoken against COVID restrictions, etc. And a few things are interesting to me. One, a lot of conservatives are pointing out that the liberals think it's like an own. They're like, see, Joe Rogan, like, look at him. He didn't want to get the jab or something, and now he got COVID. And it's like, it's not really an own because he's saying he did his own health regimen and he feels better in 2 or 3 days. So it's like, I don't know if that's like an own, like, oh my God, he got sick for 2 days and he feels better. Like they think that's such like a gotcha moment, but it's really not. And also, I think Lauren Chen pointed it out very well, and a few people have been pointing it out. I think even Nuance Bro has. Where I'm not a pharmacy expert. I'm not into pills and like thrills. I'm not a big pill guy myself. So I don't talk about medication because I'm not like a doctor out here trying to like push a pill or push a jab on people. However, I do find it fascinating that Trevor Noah, the mainstream media, and they're really trying to smear Ivor blank blank as this horse medication. Don't take it, it's for animals. And this is why the media is so bad. And if there's any media people listening, just consider what I'm saying, because there's a reason everybody hates you. There's a reason nobody trusts you. It's not because everybody else is stupid. I mean, there are dumb people, but it's because you guys suck. The media is terrible. Trevor Noah is such a propaganda puppet, and their talking points are so laughable. Even me with no stake in the game looks at them and I'm like, no wonder nobody believes you, because you guys are such idiots. So yes, they do use Ivor blank blank. They do use it for animals in some cases, but they also use it for humans in some cases. I'm not saying it works for this because I have no idea. I'm not saying that to be a shill or to silence myself. I don't know. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not like Eric Weinstein studying this stuff. No disrespect to him. I'm just not. So I'm not going to tell people to or to not take anything. That's not what I do here. And I don't know that much about it. However, they're trying to smear it as if it's only a horse medication when a simple Google search, and you can find multiple mainstream websites that say it also is used for humans for some things, not for COVID, according to our experts, but our experts and health agencies around the world use it on humans. So this is my thing to the media and Trevor Noah. If you're going to say it doesn't work for COVID, that's fine, but at least have like a talking point that isn't stupid, for lack of a better word, so I don't get axed off the internet. It's like you're trying to act like this medication has never been used in humans, and it has. I'm not saying it works for this, but you're like, it's just for horses. It's just for horses. And it's like, this is why people hate you. This is why no one believes you, because at least you could be like, hey, it's used for horses sometimes. It's used for humans in other cases, but it's not used for this. That's what a normal person would do. Acting as if it's never had a human use when a simple 2-second Google search, like Lauren Chen said, you could see that it actually has been used in humans. It just makes these people seem stupid. So the average person that's following like a Trevor Noah is like either an idiot or they're just so angry or something at Donald Trump that they'll believe anything. It's just embarrassing. So I don't know the truth about medication, but Joe Rogan took it with a bunch of other stuff, says it worked fine. Eric Weinstein loves it. Other people hate it. But when you listen to the two sides, it's like they don't make sense. They're just like, don't use it because animals. It's like, so are you saying that it's never been used by humans for other things? Because I'm seeing that it has been. And that doesn't mean it works. I don't know that it does. I'm just saying at least come up with a better talking point. That's all I'm saying. Someone says stop censoring yourself. I mean, I try to be choosy with my words, but also in general, I don't not talk about hydroxy and Ivor because I don't want to talk about it. I guess I'm not a big pill guy. Like when everyone was like, I love hydroxy, I'm thinking to myself, I've never taken hydroxy. I've never taken Ivor blank blank. I just say that for also like the algorithms. I know they have algorithms that just listen to words and stuff. So I'm trying to throw off the computers. I'm in a chess game with artificial intelligence here. So I'm not censoring myself like I'm so scared to say it. I'm just trying to throw off these robots that they have to censor everybody. In general, it's not my thing. I don't pop a bunch of these pills, but I think Eric Weinstein and Joe Rogan should be able to have a discussion about what works for them or what they think works. And then the other side gets to say, but this is the problem with the media is in a fair market. They're so bad. It's like, why do people watch me? I'm not moving, but in general, like people can see I have a new chair. It's a recliner I bought recently. And I have, my old chair, like my studio's like half done. It's not even a studio. It's just my living room. And I'm not even finished yet, but I could get more views than like 99% of people on. It's like you guys got all the money, all the power, all the connections, all the writers, all the staff, all the editors, and nobody likes you because you're so bad. Like the Ivor situation is just like peak level dumb. It's like, I don't even know that it works. I'm not saying it does because I don't know. I don't study these medications, but when you try to smear it as if no human has ever taken it when humans have taken it, it just makes you look like a liar. And that's who these people are. Their head is so far up their own ass that they don't even realize how terrible they are, or they do and they just do it for money. I don't know, but these are the same type of people that want to censor Michael Scott. It's like, my goodness, get over yourself. It's like, you're not so nice. And for the record, The Office was way ahead of its time on the diversity thing, because diversity trainers really, Michael Scott was an extreme example, but they really do crazy crap. And they really are like, it's like, it deserves to be questioned and made fun of, because they get paid $150,000 to come into your workforce and be like, hey, I want to tell you who to hire by race. And it's like, didn't Martin Luther King want to judge people by content of character? It's like, yeah, but no, we don't want to do. So it deserves to be made fun of. It deserves to be scrutinized, and it doesn't make you a racist to do that. And comedy's funny. I don't know, like, how do you even do comedy without making fun of somebody? I don't understand. Make fun of my race all you want. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. I want to read this real quick. This is from Nadir Issa, who allegedly works for the Sun-Times in Chicago. He said, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, our favorite, I call her, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. They might say it's hate speech, but I think it's funny. I call her Bolshevik Beetlejuice because I just think it sounds funny, and it is funny, but, we'll see how that plays out. I've said it before. But he calls her Lori Lightfoot. I think that's her real name. Bolshevik Beetlejuice, aka, I'm sorry, let me get back to the reporting. Nadir Issa said, Mayor Lori Lightfoot says her administration is asking Lyft and Uber to help take kids to school after 73 bus drivers quit, supposedly over Chicago public school vaccine mandate. It'd be a highly unusual move and could cause a whole other set of dilemmas. Oh, I guess maybe he was saying the Lyft thing would be unusual. Though the district revealed late notice about the resignations, officials already knew there was an overall shortage of more than 400 drivers. So CPS was on thin ice heading into the school year if a situation arose like resignations last week. So I hope people are taking notice, because this is how you beat the system. They need you. And I'm telling you, this is not going to work for them, because they what they're doing in their head is not sustainable. They're like, we're going to treat everybody who didn't get vaccinated like crap. We're going to test them 5 times a week. Once we realize, like, we already know that vaccinated people can still get sick, then we're going to start testing vaccinated people. Then we're going to have shortages. Then we're going to have, like, this is not work. These are like psychopaths out of control. It's okay to stand up for yourself like they're doing in Chicago. This is going to happen more and more. And even as time goes on and the booster shots and stuff come, more and more people are going to get to a point where they don't want to do it all the time. And they don't want to be like a little guinea pig that has no bodily autonomy. So I think they're going to play themselves. Don't get into this mindset of, oh my God, I'm so doomed. We're so done. That's a defeatist mindset. Get too jacked for the gulag, be optimistic, and do what you got to do. And if enough people do what they got to do, it'll work out. FP said, quickest way to get someone on the right path is to take a couple buddies out and go shooting. The second is to enforce the first. Keep up the good work. Thank you, FP45. I appreciate you. And the Constitution is a nice little piece of paper. That's not just a piece of paper. But anyway, so that's the Chicago story. Just hopefully that's inspirational for some people. And for mothers in Chicago, hopefully it's kind of creepy to have Lyft take the kids to school. But whatever. I guess bus drivers could be creepy too. I had a creepy bus driver, but whatever. Pfizer is launching a later stage study of a pill to treat COVID-19. That's the Hill article. I know my friends at National File also covered this. Pfizer on Wednesday announced that it had initiated a later stage clinical trial for a pill that could potentially treat COVID-19. Wow. If proven to be safe and effective, I'm sure it will be by the FDA. I'm sure they don't get along, The drug could fill an unmet need for a widespread, easier to use treatment as opposed to an infusion like remdesivir, another treatment. Pfizer is said to begin their trial. This is so crazy. Like, oh my gosh. It's like thank you, Tazzy Tech. With the vaccine, they're like, get the vaccine. It's all you need. Don't take that. Don't take that. Don't you dare. Don't do that. Take the jab. It's all you need, damn it. And then like they just casually roll out a pill, and Pfizer rolls out a pill, and the Hill's like, it could potentially fill an unmet need of an easier to use treatment. It's like, we're allowed to use easier to use treatments. I didn't even know that was an option. As far as I knew, that there was nothing easier than a vaccine. And if you dare said otherwise, you're a conspiracy theorist who needs to get off that. Like, what the hell? It's like, this is so funny to me. I know it's not funny because there's real stuff going on, but it's like, When are people going to wake up? The shot, they're like, it's 95% effective. Everybody has to get it. Everyone gets it. Herd immunity. Everyone gets it. Herd immunity is probably not going to happen. Remember that 95 number Israel gave you? It's really like 39, which is like not even, it's like less than half of what we told you, but like it still prevents against severe infection. I mean, you got it, but you got to get the booster every 8 months or every 6 months or every 5 months. And it's like, and there's a pill, and Pfizer has a pill too. And it's we told you that you shouldn't think about easier things, but like now that Pfizer's doing it, it could be a safe and effective way to do an unmet thing. It's like, why stop there? Pfizer should make like a Happy Meal at McDonald's. They should collaborate. And I'm just, I need my Pfizer all over the place. I want my Pfizer Happy Meal. I want my Pfizer Shake Shack fries. I want my Pfizer Krispy Kreme. I want my Pfizer booster. Whenever Joe Biden says to do it, I say, thank you, Daddy. How high? He says jump. I say, give me a trampoline and watch how high I go. Why stop at the pill? People don't get it. It's like, it's not about whether you've got, I've got the polio one. I've got this one. We all got them, right? And I understand it's like, if you want to get it, doesn't bother me. But if you think it's going to end there, ha, 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 ha. I don't know if that was a good laugh, but it's like, it's not going to end. It's a bigger story being told. I like coconut water, but if I said I'm president and open your mouth and I'm going to shove coconut water down your throat, it's a little creepy, is it not? It's like, yeah, coconut water is healthy, but if it's so healthy, why do you have to shove it down everybody's throat? If you let the government or your corporation or your boss decide what pharmacy medications go in you via injection or pill, don't be surprised when there's a pill. And if they can mandate the vaccine, they can mandate the pill. And if they can mandate the pill and the vaccine, they can mandate the booster shot. And if they can mandate the booster shot, they can mandate the next booster. So why would it end? These people are like out of control psychopaths. They're like, and then you look at some of these like activist groups. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm going to figure out how to word this because I like to be a nice person. But Texas did like a heartbeat bill. It's like Texas, apparently, as soon as there's a heartbeat detected, now people can't get an abortion. In my opinion, that sounds pretty common sense and moral, but to other people, not so much. Anyway, I see this picture. I'm not going to say who posted it, but I see a picture and they're like, these brave men and women are fighting the Texas heartbeat bill. And listen, politics aside, I'm just looking at this group of people and I'm thinking to myself, the best activism at this point would be to take care of yourself. When you have surplus, you can help others. It's like being broke on the street with no money, telling somebody else you're going to give them money. It's like you got to get money before you could give money to someone else. So I'm looking at this group of activists and I'm thinking they got 99 problems and Governor Abbott's not one of them. Like I could find 15 problems like Where's Waldo, in the picture that had nothing to do with the heartbeat bill, where it's like these people have like no self-accountability, no self-awareness, and no offense, but a lot of them don't really take care of themselves. So it's like, I don't know what you're so worried about, but if you took care of yourself more, you wouldn't be so upset. I don't know. I just was not impressed with the team anti-Abbott. And I don't even like Governor Abbott. Trust me. I think he's a sneaky guy. But anyway, I'm like, I think Floyd Mayweather said it one time. He was like, all these people doing activism. And yes, activism's great. I've been out there too, but like, also you got to do something with your life, get a job, start a business or something. Like at a certain point, it's not all like you're throwing it all out and you don't even take care of yourself. But that's just a side note. Speaking of the never ending booster shots that are about to be shoved in people's arms, CNN, not that they're the most trustworthy thing, but I like to stick to mainstream sources just to let them know that they are the ones saying this, not me. CNN reported 2 senior FDA vaccine leaders step down as agency faces decision on boosters. 2 senior leaders at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration Vaccine Review Office are stepping down even as the agency works towards high-profile decisions around COVID-19 vaccine approvals, authorizations for younger children, and booster shots. The retirement of Dr. Marian Gruber, Director of the Office of Vaccine Research at review of the FDA's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, and Dr. Philip Krause, Deputy Director of the office, were announced in the internal agency email sent on Tuesday and shared with CNN. So, allegedly, reportedly, I've read a few articles on it. There's some people at the FDA who probably have like a heart, a soul, a brain, morals, values, or whatever. And, things that you probably shouldn't have in the pharmacy industry. If you can get rid of your morals and your soul, you could probably make a lot of money in that sicko industry. But anyway, apparently they were at odds from some of the stuff I read with the Biden administration because they're trying to roll out booster shots. I don't know, 6 months, 5 months. I keep reading different reports. I don't know that they know. Israel's doing it. They're having a blast. 2 million booster shots administered. And, who knows when the fourth round's coming or the second round of booster shots, fourth shot total. I kind of wish those people didn't retire or resign, because the people that resign are probably the people that shouldn't resign. Dylan said your Seinfeld impression is fired. Thank you. I think it was a better one. Sometimes my impression sucked. That was a better one. But yeah, I guess they're just getting steamrolled over at the FDA, and they want no part in the booster situation. It's going to be interesting, folks. Like, don't give in to the wickedness and just think like, oh my God, we're so done. Like, there's good people all over the place. Okay. There's more people all over the place. There's a lot of people biting their tongue right now. There's a lot of people that are like waiting. And I just don't think what these people are doing is sustainable. So, I guess I'm not going to say I don't care, because I do care, but I'm already in the mindset where I'm not playing along. I see what they're doing. I'm not going to let these people ruin my life. I'm not going to let these people make me miserable. I walk around and like 50% of the people have masks on. Nobody, like, I feel like I'm in the Truman Show. Nobody is telling anybody to wear masks. Where I live, there is no mask mandate, but people are still freaking wearing it. It's like, what? I can't feel that bad for certain people. Like, I feel bad for the mother who's getting kicked out of her job, but like in my area, I walk in the grocery store. No one's told me to put on a mask in 3 months. But everybody's got it on. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? I don't get what's going on. So I don't even let it bother me anymore. I'm just walking around. So I was like, I'm fighting COVID, huh? The Delta variant, huh? You got to really watch out, man. It could be anywhere. Did you hear the Mu variant and the Lambda's coming out? You get the Lambda. It's like, the hell you guys? I'm just like drinking I'm just like, yeah, the Lambda variant. Yeah, I heard about that. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, like, I don't even know how to bond with these people, so I just don't. I can't see them. I don't know what they look like. Most of the time they don't talk because they have something covering their mouth, which your mouth is not only a breathing tool, but it's a speaking tool. So they're like non-existent NPC, non-playable characters. I just act like I'm in a video game. I don't even let it bother me anymore. Like, they're just like, I don't know. If I was to talk to them, I'd be like, yeah, man. Yeah, yes to that mask. Yes, that cloth mask is, it's just blocking spit molecules and you're just crushing, bro. And, it's really good for the community because, like, Delta and, like, as soon as, and then Lambda, and they're talking about the Mu virus. And if you've ever played Pokemon, they had 150 Pokemon, and the 151st was Mew. It was a very special Pokemon that was like me. It looked like a little cat or something, but it had a powerful force inside that. So listen, I'm not saying that the Pokemon is the variant, because I don't. That's totally ignorant of me. Excuse me, but I'm just saying, if it's anything like my Pokemon days, this variant's going to be serious. So you want to buckle up, strap up. Like, I don't even talk to these people, because if I did, it would sound something like that, and I would get bored. I'm already bored of it, so I don't even let it bother me. But it's just getting kind of weird to me. And I'm not going to lie, I'm having more fun with it now than ever, because I'm just trying to make fun of it. That's the only thing that makes it worth it. And that's what comedy is. A lot of comedians have a lot of soul, a lot of pain. Some of the funniest comedians, the biggest comedians, they have a tough upbringing or a tough story. That's what, they lean to comedy because comedy makes life easier. And if you're going through bad situations, the comedy can make it warmer. So let's not go around ruining comedy. Liberals are not liberals anymore. They are authoritarians pretending to be activists. They are authoritarians pretending to be social justice warriors. Somebody needs to tell them that the gym and the beach are the new protests. So they work out, get some sunshine, and remember to stop being such psychopaths. Thank you guys for being here. Rumble.com, DreamRare/DreamRare. BitChute.com/DreamRare, Telegram.com or t.me/DreamRareChat on Telegram, DreamRareChat, Instagram, Facebook. We will do a supporters only tomorrow. I'm going to announce it officially later. And that's what it is. Thank you guys on Patreon. Thanks everybody who watches on YouTube and Facebook. I appreciate it. Someone said yesterday I saw a woman wearing 2 masks in her car. Like, it's just crazy, right? It's just like you got to laugh at it. You just got to laugh. Someone said if we do not laugh, we dry. People are so funny to me. I got to read this real quick. I probably shouldn't get into this and I should just leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. We'll wait. We'll build off what people are saying here. Someone said lambda, lambda, lambda. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate you. Someone said I walked in. They called me right away. I went to a digital town hall today in Connecticut and they only allowed 3 questions. Did I hear about the Australian law where they can now look and take over your social media and stuff and even monitor, send and receive messages? I did hear about that. I don't know how real it is. I'm guessing it is if people are reporting on it, but I haven't looked into it to say for sure. But if that's happening in Australia, that's insane. And, this is the escalation. It's like whatever you put up with, they will do. It shouldn't be that way, but I guess, I don't know. I'm starting to see it from another angle where if enough people act like sheep, they're going to treat you like that. I don't know any other way. It's like if you're going to buy what they're selling, they're going to keep selling it. So Australia is a different beast. But here in America, we have 50 states, we have counties, we have local communities, we have 2 political parties. They're both stealing our taxes, but they fight over Afghanistan for 3 months so nobody realizes they're robbing us all or whatever. And, there's a lot going on in this country, but just realize like, you don't have to do what they say. I don't know I mean, you'll probably have to pay taxes or they'll come get you. But in general, with all this like mask and yes, it's going to be difficult. But what's more difficult is ending up like Australia. If you ask me, would you rather lose your pay and go find another job, or would you rather end up like Australia where they could take over your social media? It's like people think the easy route is easy. That's not the easy route. That's why I don't trip out. People are like, aren't you afraid of this and that? Like, no, first of all, I'm not afraid of any of that stuff, but I'd be more scared if I worked for a psychopath corporation. I guess I kind of do if I make my money on these platforms. But in general, to me, that's creepy because like the walls are closing in on a lot of these like liberal corporations. And it's like, I don't know what people expect. We can't play the victim. It's like if people put up with it, they're going to do it. So enough people like, one person that I think is very inspirational, regardless of whether you like his work or not, and does something is, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. James O'Keefe, runs an organization and he got a teacher fired in California for being overly political with the children, with the Antifa stuff, where it's like, James O'Keefe is one person and he finds success. And to be quite fair, I think he does more than most Republican politicians do. So, his slogan is be brave. If people were brave, and you don't have to do what he's doing, I don't, but I'm just saying, if enough Republicans were brave, none of this would happen. And I think it's starting to happen, but so many people want to sit on the sidelines and just assume that Trump or someone else is going to do something for them, or Democrats, if you're a Democrat. And the truth is that's just not how the world works. If you want to sit on the sidelines, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're just a spectator. So if the game decides to turn into a different game, and you've chosen the path of the sidelines, you don't have a say. So you just got to eat it. If enough people get on the field and be a part of the solution, like the teachers or the parents who go to the teachers, meetings and really push back against the mask mandate, well, then you get a different result. Then they start to resign. And, it's like if force is met with force, and I'm not talking violence, I'm talking peaceful, but I just mean if they're doing crazy stuff, you could peacefully non-comply and let them know at meetings and, emails, etc. It's a numbers game, and I think too many people are compliant, and it's not just liberals or conservatives or whatever. It's a mixture. So that's what it is. And if you do rise to the occasion, you'll get the results that we're looking for, I think. But who knows? It's going to be a crazy couple of years. Someone said, hey, I still remember from the Air Timpani remix. That was great. Elohim, thank you so much. Air Timpani remix. That was like a wax remix in like 2009. That's like 11 years ago. God bless you, Elohim. Appreciate you for watching for that long. I've been on YouTube since 2008. That's pretty crazy. Brittany said, thank you for being such a motivational voice. Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate you. Someone said it always comes down to the individual. Chad the Father. We love Chad the Father here. He says it always comes down to the individual and their ability or inability to collectivize against authoritarianism. For sure, for sure. It's here, it's coming. You know, they're not stopping, but they're the minority. They just work hard, I guess. I don't know. We got to work harder. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate you. Tyler said, this is scary what's going on. They spread just like, I mean, it's not that scary. I mean, I get that it just don't be afraid though. I don't like, I'm very sensitive to words. Like people are like, I'm afraid. I'm like, don't be afraid. You know, it's happening. Things are happening. There's good, there's bad. Don't let it scare you. Don't think it's so scary. It's not. It can be a time of renaissance and pendulum swinging back in the right direction. Someone said, you make me laugh. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. I think I'm 1,000 times funnier than Trevor Noah, and I'm not scripted. But I'm also biased. I think I'm hilarious. Other times, not so much. I love Facebook and I love YouTube because when I'm live, I can make a joke, right? You can hear my tone. I can do an impression. I like to be funny. In my head, I always think I'm funny. Not always, but I'm on Twitter. I think what I'm saying is hilarious. And I'm getting, you know, a bunch of people super pissed off because there's no tone and context to what I'm saying. So everyone thinks I'm mad all the time on Twitter. I'm seriously not. Sometimes I think my tweets are hilarious and people are like, F you. Oh yeah, you liberal. Oh, you don't like Trump. And I'm like, can I not make a joke? I posted a picture of Trump. Do you guys remember? To me, this is the funniest picture. I liked it at the time. In hindsight, it's 20 times funnier than it was when it happened. Do you remember when Donald Trump had the football team or whatever, and they didn't have food? So Donald Trump just got all the fast food in America. It was like Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. Like he just got all the fast food, and he put all the fast food on a table, and there's a picture of him in front of it, and he's like, and it's like a picture of him with all fast food. I just retweeted that picture because it's freaking hilarious. It's Donald Trump with all fast food behind him. I retweeted the picture, and I said, this is the perfect representation of America. I was like, this is like America. This is America. I didn't even say anything bad. You could say that was good. You could say it was bad. Oh my God, you have Trump derangement gender. Shut the hell up, Anomaly. You don't know nothing about that. He did the Chick-fil-A, the McDonald's. I'm like, I didn't, it wasn't meant to be a shot at Trump. I just said it's such an American picture, like Donald Trump next to like thousands of fast food. It's funny. And people are freaking want to bite my head off over it. I'm like, oh my God. Like it's starting to kind of creep me out. I'm not going to lie. I want to read you something. I'm not going to read the name, but someone on Instagram, I don't care if people don't like me. I don't care if people disagree with me, but it's starting to like creep me out seeing how culty and brainwashed certain people are. And I don't say that lightly. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's kind of funny to me. All right. I'm going to read this comment. I'm not going to say the name, but it's some lady on Instagram. She responded to my Trump video where I was talking about Trump's response to vaccine passports, how, you know, he didn't really answer it that great at the time. She said, I'm just going to read it aloud. Not true. When Trump brought all of this to fruition, it was too early to see the side effects. Now, WTF is he supposed to do? No numbers are cooked. The shots are poison. I think you're in opposition to Trump is your problem, and it has been since I'm beginning to listen to you. So let's say, I'm not saying this, the lady's saying this to me. She's trying to say it's poison. That's what she thinks. It's poison. But you disagreeing with that is bad. I'm going to defend something that I literally think is poison. I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell? I've never said it's poison. You're taking a harder line stance against the product that Trump's selling and making a grandiose claim about it that's even stronger against it than I'm saying, because I'm not saying that. And then you're mad that I'm saying something about something that you consider poison. What the hell is wrong with people? Like, I get that people love Donald Trump, but that's like next level cultism. If you think this product's the worst thing in the world, but you're mad I said something about it because you love the guy who's selling it, the hell is going on with people? Like, I'm laughing my ass off sometimes just reading this shit, and people are like, you ever freaking cheat you? What the hell? You did the Trump thing. And I'm like, are we in kindergarten? Like, this is crazy to me. Like, I don't even think I acted this way in kindergarten. Like, these are grown adults that are like 65 years old. maturity is not a number. Let's put it that way. I'm 31 years old. I seem like Lao Tzu compared to these people. I seem like a wise, Asian wizard that's like 300 years old compared to these like moms and dads. And I'm like, the hell are you guys doing? Like, if you don't like what I said, it's fine. I definitely could have been nicer about it, but like, you're not even making sense. Like, it would make more sense if you were like, I love the jab, I got it, and Trump, helped me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand that. But you're like, I hate it. It's the worst thing in the world. And since it's so bad, well, you shouldn't say he's good and it's bad, but he's good. And it's like, you're losing your mind over this stuff. I'm here laughing my ass off, but apparently my comments are not always as digestible as I thought. And in hindsight, there's certain videos I made that I was like, I would have used a different tone there. I definitely would have been nicer. We live and we learn, I guess. But it's shocking. I'm like, I can't even post a picture of him with like McDonald's behind him. It's freaking hilarious. Like, I can't laugh. I can't laugh at a picture of him. Like, I don't know. I miss that. I miss that whole memo. And I have to say, the left is way more authoritarian right now. They're canceling The Office, etc. But a lot of people on the right, I'm not going to say everybody because it's not everybody on the left too, but a lot of people on the right, they're all against cancel culture, right? They're all against hypocrisy. Let Louis Farrakhan tweet for a week and then tell me how many conservatives are against cancel culture still. The same conservatives that tell you they're against cancel culture, two Louis Farrakhan tweets, get him off Twitter. He's an anti-Semite. He's a racist. He's a homophobe. He hates white people. He's a racist. And I'm like, I thought you were against cancel culture. We are, but he needs to go. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are so. This is the dynamic of politics. It's like the left is against cancel culture for what they believe, but they're for cancel culture for what they don't believe. So you're not for free speech. Noam Chomsky used to say this, and he's by no means a conservative. He used to say, you're not for free speech if you only like speech you agree with. You have to stand up for the most despicable speech, or else you don't agree with free speech. That was Noam Chomsky, who's like a left-wing authoritarian. I don't even know what he is, like a commune anarchist. He doesn't even know what he is. But anyway, now you go to the right wing. It's the same thing. You can't say you agree with free speech if you only agree with the conservative speech. I say something, you want to bite my head off and publish my personal information. That's a new thing. People want to publish my personal information all the time. It's like, you're sick in the freaking head because I have an opinion about a politician you like that took millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry and turned into a salesman. I'm not saying it was a bribe that he did it, but it's like, I didn't ask all these people to sell these products, and I don't think it's cool. It's not because someone paid me to feel this way. If my favorite musician was on stage and was like, go get a Pfizer vaccine, that's lame. I don't care that. Oh, it's optional. It's still lame. I'm not looking for a pharmacy sales pitch. Do I go here and tell people a million times, Pfizer, 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 Pfizer? No, because I'm not a freaking pharmacy salesman because it's lame. It's pathetic. It's the opposite of punk rock. It's the opposite of Americana. It's corny, and it's not necessary right now. Everybody knows about the product. We don't need another sales pitch. So people are treating me like shit because I'm treating Donald Trump the same way I treat anybody, a rock star, a Republican, a Democrat. I think it's really lame to sell it, and I don't care if it's mandatory or not. It's like, it's not like a sales pitch is necessary, and these people are freaking out. It's like people with politics are crazy. Like both sides have gone loco over this stuff. So I'm just trying to laugh my ass off because that's the only way that makes it necessary. But with the free speech thing, there's a lot of hypocrisy on both sides. The left is worse, no question, but the right, I've seen what happens when you question them. They're very quick to use these words, anti-Semitic, racist, homophobic even. It's like, the hell does homophobic even mean? It's this, I get that people use it, but like, break down the word homophobic. Homophobic, homosexual, phobia, fear. You're afraid of homosexuals. Like if Bryson Gray, my friend, if he says something against the LGBT agenda, right, in a song on his Twitter, is he afraid of gay people? Bryson's not a weak man. He's not afraid. So the word doesn't even really make sense. It's a cop-out censorship word that you're trying to inflict the moral high ground. Like, oh my God, Bryson, he's not afraid. No one's afraid. He just doesn't agree with it from a biblical perspective. And at one point, I hate to break it to you, but all Christians felt the same way as Bryson Gray. And I hate to break it to you, even the Democrats agreed with him. It used to be a Democrat stance 15 years ago. You don't have to agree with him, but if you're going to call someone a homophobe for a stance that Barack Obama, came into office with, Barack Obama had the same stance as Bryson Gray when he got into freaking office. That's the right wing. They're further left than the left used to be, and then they call you a homophobe. You don't have to agree with them. I can't stand these words: homophobic, anti-Semitic, racist, xenophobic. Both parties do it. It's like babies in a sandbox. They're just yelling, you're so racist. You're such a homophobe. You're such an anti-Semite. No, you are. Ted Cruz is like, you are an anti-Semite. You hate Israel. And he's like, you're an anti-Semite, Ted Cruz. You talked about Bloomberg Media. Well, I can't be an anti-Semite. I've given so much money for Israel. Do you know how much money I've taken from AIPAC in order to be here? I've taken the most money. I love Israel. I've kissed the wall. I put on a yarmulke even though I'm not Jewish. I can't be anti-Semitic. I'm Larry. It's like, you guys sound like idiots to me. You guys sound like babies. Like, you're an anti-Semite because you don't agree with the AIPAC. No, I went to Israel. I can't do that. It's like, cool, you're so nice. That's like, it's so fake. It's like me going to Brooklyn and just like taking a picture and like, Bed-Stuy. Be like, I can't be racist. I mean, listen, I was on the corner of Marcy and Myrtle Street, and I did a music video there. Like, I've done that, but I'm just saying, like, that doesn't make me not racist. Like, wow, I took a selfie in a black neighborhood. Like, I can't be racist. I mean, I donated to charity. Damn it, I've been to Watts and play. It's like, no one says that. That, like, it's just so weird. Like, they're such losers. I can't stand most people. I can't stand politics. I can't stand the media. Wow, you're so, oh my God, you love Jewish people so much. Wow, you're so cool. Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Do you go to your homie's house and eat gefilte fish for Passover too? Do you want to tell? Do you like matzah bread? Do you spin the dreidel with your boy? Yeah, I've done that too. It's like, I don't talk about it all the time. I was at my Jewish friend's house last Hanukkah when I was home, and I was just hanging out with them, and it happened to be Hanukkah. It's like, I didn't tweet about it. It's like, wow, I don't know. He's just like my friend, and that's just who he is. And it's not like I take a selfie. Oh my God, like, look at me. I'm really out here just loving a whole race of people. I mean, it can't be me. I would never talk about the media like that. I would never, use Wikipedia early life section and point out like statistics. That's just crazy talk. Can't stand these people. Am I coming to your birthday? Probably not. I don't know who said that, but God bless you and happy birthday. Probably not. Someone said, isn't the gates of hell located in Israel? There is something like that. There's some sort of pit. I don't know what it is. You'll have to Google it. But in Israel, according to my knowledge, there is some sort of like very ancient spiritual location that is I'm not going to say it's literally gates to hell, but like there is some sort of phenomenon or location like that there. I don't know. You got to Google it, but I've heard of it through my Jewish friends that have gone there. There's something like that is there. I don't know what it is though. Someone said I'd invite Namli to my birthday party. Could be fun. Someone said homophobia literally means an anxiety disorder defined by a persistent and excessive fear of man. Elaine said, I can't watch you anymore. You don't take a stand about anything. I mean, I don't think that's true at all. I think I've taken a huge stand against medical tyranny. I think I've taken a huge stand against every aspect of lockdowns. I think I take a huge stand against taxes, a huge stand against pretty much everything. I guess maybe you're mad that I'm not like an idiot or something. Like you want me to be dumber and just like scream at the top of my lungs like Fox News or something and just like yell all that. Oh. It's like, no, both parties are stealing your taxes. Both parties print trillions of dollars. That's not me not taking a stand. It's you running back and forth like a chicken with your head cut off. You're like, I'm going to go vote for Dan Crenshaw. He's going to save America. It's like, no, he's not. Dan Crenshaw's not going to save you. I'm not being mean, but it's like, you think these people are like your best friends. Like, yeah, DeSantis is going to really lay down the law. He's really going to lay down the law. It's like, no, but I mean, he's doing a good job as a governor. I'm just saying, like, what don't I take a stand? What really matters to you, Elaine? Tell me what matters to you, and what you're upset that I'm not taking a stand on. I would love to hear. Someone said Mike Pence 2024. I don't think that's going to be very popular. Someone said, "How could she say that?" People say all sorts of things. I mean, I'm willing to give her a minute to listen. But yesterday, I was having this like uplifting, motivational thing about getting off your cell phone, working on what you love, your passion, your craft, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, Anomaly, all you do is complain. You just come," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not even complaining. Like, what are you talking? Like, people just get freaking out when they don't hear what they want to hear." But I do a bunch of things, but I do also try to uplift people. Like, I've had a great week. I've interviewed two legendary hip hop artists that I respect, not just their music, but really, I would say more importantly, who they are as people. I've got to do a lot of cool things. I'm doing what I love. I'm working. I don't know. I'm trying to also motivate people to be like, even amongst a pandemic or whatever, you can do it. If I did it, you could do it. It takes a lot of time and persistence. And I'm saying all this like nice, uplifting stuff, like Gary V or something. People are like, "Oh yeah, you're just a doomer. You just complain." Like I'm like, what are you talking? I don't even get it. I'm trying to figure out what people are so mad at, but I guess I'm just trying to have as much fun as I possibly can. Damn, someone gave me a huge super chat. Let me see on Keith. Keith, thank you so much. Keith Church, my man. I'm looking at the number and I'm like, is that really what happened? Did you give me 2019? I don't know how much money that is, Keith, but God bless you. Thank you for the big star chat, I think. And thank you so much. I appreciate that. I can't do the math right now, but it looks huge. Angela said, best impression of Eric Cartman impersonating Ted Cruz ever. Yeah, you get what you get with my impressions. They're funny, but they're not always accurate. Thank you, Angela. Someone said my county fair had a vaccine booth, 0 customers. Everyone ignored them. That sounds fun. Isabel said, thank you. Thank you. Someone said people need to get their chill pill prescription. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Terry. Someone said the communist teacher's been fired. I know. It's like, I really like James O'Keefe. He's a nice guy. I've got to chat with him before, and he's a very real person. Like he's just like, I don't know. I'm just doing stuff, and I'm like, it's a crazy job he has. I wouldn't want to do that. It's difficult. It's very, I don't know. He does a lot of stuff, but it's like, that's a successful. You can't have a teacher trying to turn your kid into like a revolutionary activist in a group that does all this weird shit. So that was a good find, Anomaly, who's going to win the Super Bowl? I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would like to see Tom Brady win another one just because he's so old, and I think it's cool. He's not so old, but for football, he's old, I say he's so old, these people are like my age or something. But no, I would like to see Tom Brady win again. But I don't know. Someone said, how disheartening is it if Biden gets impeached? There's an army of losers in line. Well, here's another maybe unpopular opinion. I'm not really sure, but like, I don't like Joe Biden. I do think he should resign on his own, not because he screwed up super bad, just because I think he's literally too old to run, or like not too old, too brain dead. Like, I don't know. I seriously think he should probably be gone, and not because it's such like a partisan issue. I think he's too tired. Like Trump called him Sleepy Joe. I think he needs to take a nap and go somewhere and have someone take care of him. I don't think he should run the country. That aside, like everyone's like impeach, impeach, impeach. I don't think he should be impeached. To be honest, I don't think he should be impeached. I don't think what he did was impeachable. I think it was bad, but I think he should resign and retire on his own. But I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like everyone yells at each other, impeachment, impeachment, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this is why we never get anything done. Both parties are stealing your money. Yes, Joe Biden needs to go, but then you have Kamala Harris, and he's just a puppet. Joe Biden's not really calling the shots. If he leaves, the administration's not going to change in order at all. If anything, it'll get worse or stay exactly the same. So, I try to think of solutions. Like, to me, an impeachment's not a solution. Him resigning is also not a solution, but I just think he should, because he's just not. He's not I don't know if cognitive's the right word, but cognizant. I don't know. Someone said Trump should run for Speaker of the House and DeSantis for president would be a winner. I would like to see. I would like to see Trump as Speaker of the House. I think that would be a good position for him. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens in 2024. My opinion doesn't really matter. Someone said he's hogging all the ice cream. Joe Biden is eating, and Nancy Pelosi, they're eating way too much ice cream. You know, it's like Nancy Pelosi has a freezer full of ice cream. Joe Biden's always just slurping ice cream in aviators. It's disgusting. That's way too much dairy. You know, they're going to get bloated and inflamed. It's disgusting. Let's see. Someone said, imagine not being able to be a part of society because of refusing the jab and still having to pay taxes. This is unfair. It is unfair. I mean, I'm grateful in general, but I'm kind of disgusted with how many taxes I have to pay for last year. I do feel pretty robbed. I mean, what am I getting for the taxes I'm paying? I'm not going to say how much I'm paying, but it's like last year I got treated like shit by the government. Last year I got things taken away from me by the government. I don't feel like I got everything. They gave me $1,600 and then they took like way more than that. Yeah, I mean, it's disgusting that they're going to take taxes from people that can't enter society. They're out of control, but that's what I'm trying to talk about. Like, I know people think this is me not taking a stance. When Obama was in office, they're spending trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. Why do they need my money if they're dropping bombs on countries I've never even been to and facilitating billions of dollars to industries I don't even support? What did, and I know people don't want to hear this because it's Trump, but don't take it so personally. What did Operation Warp Speed do for me? Somebody that doesn't want the product. It's being used against me. They got billions of dollars. They got more advertising money. They jam it down our throats, even without the mandate, with all this coercion and threats and bribes. That's not helpful to me. They take my money and then they use it against me. So yeah, I think that's the bigger picture. I know Afghanistan was bad, and I know it's really swinging the pendulum against Biden, rightfully so. But to me, it's just crazy that Trump, Obama, Biden, no matter who's in there, Congress gets together and they pass these $1 trillion bills every year. Every year they pass $1 trillion bills and then they take my money. To me, that's never going to end. And it's creepy to me that people hate Trump so much that they're not paying attention to that. And it's also creepy to me that people love Trump so much that they're not paying attention to that. It's creepy to me that moms that are against vaccines are supporting a vaccine program because they like Donald Trump, and vice versa. Liberals are ready to say it's the plague just because they hate him. It's like people have lost their freaking minds over this guy. It's seriously crazy. Like, I get that he was very, very cool to a lot of people, and I get that he was very off-putting to certain people, but it's like, this is crazy. I don't know. It's like, this is never going to end because there's always going to be a topic and nobody ever pays attention. For example, like, remember when people were pretending to care about Cuba 3 weeks ago? What happened to Cuba? The media, the right-wing media mostly, they stopped talking about Cuba. And guess what happens when people stop talking about Cuba? People stop caring about Cuba. They start caring about Afghanistan. And I'm not saying Afghanistan's not a big story, but the media really controls what is big and what is not. Is it a big story that 13 of our soldiers died? Absolutely. And every soldier matters. And I'm not downplaying it at all. Every person who dies, especially young kids that are being sent off to war for God knows what reasons half the time, this matters. Absolutely. I'm not saying it for a second, and I'm not trying to take anything away from it. And I'm so glad that I'm watching non-political people care about our veterans and our soldiers. And that's great because I think, it's showing that we actually have a soul, and I'm happy for that. That being said, if the entire world press went to the south side of Chicago, they have, and I'm not trying to do a comparison like Biden, but they have like 15 people getting their heads blown off every weekend. So imagine if our press went there and caught, 60 people, 70 people getting murdered in a month. Would people talk about Chicago more? Of course they would, because the media kind of controls what people talk about. And I'm not saying America's Cuba, and I'm not saying Afghanistan's not bad, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be covered, but the media ultimately decides what's going on. Is Cuba bad? Of course, but there's countries that are 20 times worse than what they're going through that never get coverage because there is no media agenda. There's no conservative or liberal agenda to pushing that story. So you're never going to go to the village in Africa and hear about the story where, they don't have clean water and people are catching diseases that we haven't had since the 1800s. It doesn't. So the media controls both parties, not just the left, but the right. And it will tell people what to talk about when. So that's what I'm seeing is like everybody's dialed into Cuba. Now everybody's dialed into Afghanistan. Then they're going to be dialed into this. Then they're going to be impeaching Biden. And then Trump's going to be back. And then they're going to impeach Trump. And then Trump's going to do Operation Warp Speed. And then everyone's going to lose. This is never going to end because people are on this cycle of nonstop, outrage over what's going on. And it's not to say that these aren't important issues, because our veterans absolutely matter. And I think a lot of progress has been made. But I do believe if I could take a camera crew and I could force CNN, Fox News, and everybody to post up on the south side of Chicago and in St. Louis, in the worst area, in Camden, New Jersey, and, put their cameras on the side of the street and film what's going on there every weekend, you would have 20, 50, 100 million people really talking about that, because that's where the attention is. So it's just interesting to see how, like, both parties, they fundraise off each other too. And I don't think people realize this. Like, when the Capitol event happened on January 6th, Democrats could say what they want. They could say they hate it. It's so terrible. They're so afraid. And I'm not saying it was great. I'm just saying they fundraise so much off that. If you watch a Gavin Newsom recall ad, I'm voting yes to recall Gavin Newsom. They say vote no because of January 6th. What the hell does January 6th have to do with the California recall? But they use it because it's like an emotional, popular thing, and they fundraise off of January 6th. The Democrats do. January 6th, in a way, is like their best friend for their pockets. And just like Charlottesville was, and just like the George Floyd thing was, look up how much money Black Lives Matter and progressive causes and even Democrats raised during the George Floyd riots. Our cities went to shit. Our race relations went to shit, but their pockets went up. It's like with Pfizer. I'm not saying everything they do is bad, but when they're making $30 billion off of mandates and off of lockdowns, why the hell wouldn't they want them as a business? It's like, yeah, does McDonald's want people to stop eating hamburgers? They don't give a shit. No, they want to sell as many hamburgers as they possibly can. So the Democrats fund off of the bullshit that Republicans do, and the Republicans fundraise off the bullshit that the Democrats do. So they could tell you how much they don't want it to happen, because in some ways they probably don't, but in many ways they know what moves the needle. They know it's outrage. They know it's war. They know it's a crazy event. They know it's Antifa or the Proud Boys or whoever. They love that because it just not only divides people, but it puts a lot of money in their pockets. They need a good reason. And it's the same with the whole lockdown pandemic. It's like Gavin Newsom can't have that much power. Well, unless there's an emergency, and now all of a sudden he can have that power. Now the Constitution doesn't work anymore. So like the meme that's been viral a million times, if politicians can have more power in an emergency, eventually there's going to be a politician who creates one in order to get the power. That's the dynamic I see from politics. Do I think both parties are equally as bad? In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I think Republicans are slightly better in certain areas that are very important, and in other areas, I think they're way better. But in many areas, I think they're not better at all. In some areas, I think they're literally just as bad as Democrats, and they're worse than Democrats were 10 years ago. It's like this little goofy circus game they have where they give us these stupid characters and then they just print trillions of dollars and do all this crazy crap and nobody even notices. So I'm starting to get to that point where it's like, I'm not saying I don't notice the difference between local governments when they're Democrat or Republican. I think conservative communities and in general, just like families and people that don't commit crime is a step up. But this is the big game I see. So I'm not like sitting on the fence, like I'm not taking a stand. This is my stand. My stand is if everybody always runs circles around topics, as soon as Afghanistan fades out and Republicans raise $100 million or whatever off of Afghanistan, you don't think their bank accounts are going through? And I'm not saying Republicans want this, because I do think most of them have a soul and they're disgusted by what's happening. But you're kidding yourself if you don't think this gained them more political support and more money. So it's like a nonstop cycle. And that's why, places like CNN, they're all about outrage, because when there's a big moment, they get the biggest ratings. So if there's no moment, there's no ratings. They have to create. They're not just reporting. They're like, in many ways, creating it. Like what this could be a story. They could say CNN, South Side of Chicago, it's murder capital, 14 people dead, 10 people dead, children dying. But they don't have a financial or political incentive, because they like Lori Lightfoot. So they don't want to make her look bad. They just act like it's not happening, or they don't really care that much. But when a black kid gets murdered like every other weekend, I think it's a big story. I think it's really sick that, families have to live there and put up with that. But CNN doesn't really care. It's like they could make a story out of that, but they'd rather say kids are dying from COVID and oh my God, everybody's dying all the time, because they let the COVID thing is more in their lane. So, I think there's a game being played with the media, and that's not to say that things don't matter. I don't know what matters the most. That's a moral or ethical question that I think only God could probably answer accurately. Like, what is the most important story? I don't know. Everyone's free to do it, but I think people need to realize that's being had, and then we can, come to sensible conclusions. But this is another thing. I'm not trying to be on my high horse, but I think a lot of people in the world, they want the world to change, but they don't want to change themselves. So they look at Joe Biden and think Joe Biden's a complete idiot. And I agree with them. And then they look at Trump and say, well, Trump is so bad. But it's like, who are we though? Yeah, you could say whatever you want about Trump or Biden. And, I'll probably agree with a lot of your takes, but what are we doing? If you, so I look at us, the people, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, there's a reason these people are leading us, because we allowed this to happen. We got to the point, we got lazy, or we got complacent, or we got whatever. And these are the people that rose to the ranks. So I think, if people buy what Fox and CNN sell, then they're going to keep selling it. And it's not blaming the news networks completely, but, everybody wants, I want this, I want that. It's like, then do something. I'm not trying to act like I'm so great, but like, I didn't like the news. So I made my own, and I got 750 million views. Like, yeah, I had a lot of success. I worked my ass off. I don't know. I didn't just sit there and demand that someone else. I made it. I created it. Everyone has the opportunity in God's will to do that. You don't like that music? Well, make your own. You don't want to be that? You could run for office. That's we can all play our part, but I think that's why these things are happening, because everybody just complains a lot, and not that many people fill the void and become it. So I think, it's not like America's so unfortunate. It's like we deserve this, because 50, 60 years of ignoring all this stuff happening. Kids have been dying in war for decades. And, it's been way too overdue to at least identify what the hell's going on in Afghanistan, Syria, whatever. And these are conversations that weren't even that popular until recently. So I don't know. I mean, I think once we evolve, or maybe evolve's not the best word, we get right ourselves, the people, our leaders will get right. But right now, I watch people who like Trump, who hate Trump, who are Democrat, who are Republican, who are on my side politically, who aren't. And I watch how they treat each other, and everybody treats each other like shit. I'm sorry. I mean, there's definitely some awesome people and some winners, but for the most part, it's like you got 55-year-olds acting like 15-year-olds, like all over the place. It's not just Joe Biden pooping his pants. It's like you got people on Instagram, on Facebook, just everybody's treating each other like crap all the time. And, I try to think about what I do too, because there's certain things I could have said better. But I mean, like, you could complain about the leaders, but like, who the hell are we? If that's how we act, what do you think's going to happen? Like, there's not that many winners on our level. Like, oh my God, if this person, so we got to act right. And maybe there's a lot of people that do act right, and they just don't go on social media, right? Probably the most sane people are not arguing with other people on social media. They just watch and, have the discipline not to comment. So I think there are a lot of great people, but, it's like, I just see all this happening, and I'm like, everything happens for a reason. Do I listen to Jericho Green? I'm not sure who that is. Someone said, I always tell my son to find the good in things. I think that's a good. Someone said, my generation, nobody was sick. And that's another thing. I don't want to be too repetitive, but I'm going to tell you, Democrats, the reason that they get kids, because if you look, most kids are Democrats. They'll say Gen Z is conservative, but most kids, 17, 18, 19, they're mostly liberals. And that's been a phenomenon, I think, for a while. The reason is because Democrats say the world is screwed up, this is screwed up, and we're going to solve it. They're not going to solve it. They're going to make it worse, but they lure you in like the candy man. Republicans, a lot of time, they don't know how to outreach to the youth, and they're like the not cool father who tells you to go to bed at 10 o'clock. They might be right, but you just don't want to hear it when you're younger. And a lot of times people say, America's so great, America's so great. And it is great. But at the same time, there's also a lot of sick stuff happening. For instance, And Democrats know how to tap into that youth energy, and a lot of Republicans don't. So someone said a lot of people used to not get sick. If you look at rates of cancer, if you look at rates of obesity, if you look at rates of diabetes, if you look at rates of opioid overdoses, if you look at rates of pill overdoses, if you look at rates of pill intake, and you follow from the 50s to 60s to 70s to 80s to 90s, 2000s, and now, look how many pills people are taking on average. Look at that chart. Look at how many people are dying of this. Look how many people are dying of this. In a way, yeah, a lot more people are getting a lot more sick, and a lot more people are getting overdosing on this. And there's a lot of issues in America that we need to address. If we want to be a nation that doesn't just roll over and die, we have to get to the core of that: our health, our drugs, our food. And we haven't. We have some of the worst quality food in the country. We have definitely the biggest pill problem in the country. And nobody talks about that because both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, are both in on it. They both don't give a shit. They're both working with the FDA. They're both, Operation Warp Speed. They don't care. They don't care what's going on. So it's true. It's like, on one hand, be grateful to be in America. I love this country. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so grateful. But on another hand, it's always the Democrats who get the youth because they say this is all wrong. Doesn't mean they'll solve it, but they acknowledge it. A lot of times Republicans write it off and say, this is so great. This is so great. And it's like, I love the optimism, but at the same time, there's a difference between like being optimistic and being unreasonable and being like, oh, that's fine. Like this food, I'll just eat it all the time. It's like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have the right to, but like there is a reason, and I'm not going to say what it is. And I don't know that I even know what it is, but is there not a reason that some diseases have gone from here to here? Why is cancer so prevalent? Why is diabetes so prevalent? Why is opioids so prevalent? There's got to be a reason. I don't know what it is. They're never going to tell you until 50 years later, but we should identify what's going on. When it comes to hand sanitizer, when everyone was doing the hand sanitizer, oh my God, COVID, hand sanitizer 5 times a day. I didn't do it like ever. Maybe I used hand sanitizer one time. I'm not saying they're all bad, but I've already heard how you don't want to use it too much because there also are on your hands, etc. There's good and bad things. And if you overdo it, sometimes you make it worse. And all of a sudden, a year later, after everybody's hand sanitizing, they put out a report that a lot of the hand sanitizers people were using had carcinogens in them. So these are things that I heard since I was young through my parents and grandparents. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. Watch out for this pan. Watch out for aluminum. Watch out for that. I'm not starting a theory, but there's so many things going up. I can't know exactly what it is, but they don't seem to tell us until 50, 60 years later. It's got to be something in the food, something in the products we're using, something in what? I mean, Johnson & Johnson, I'm not saying they're responsible for everything, but Reuters reported that they had asbestos in their baby powder and they knew about it. That's what Reuters said. Asbestos used to be common. Asbestos used to be something that was put in people's houses all the time. And now they realize that it's not right. So that's also part of American history. It's not to say we're so terrible, but if we want our kids to not die overseas, it's not just Joe Biden's fault. It's definitely his fault for maybe this one, but it's also our fault for ignoring who our leaders are, why we're going to war, who we're working for, who's lobbying them. It's not just the pharmacy industry. There's foreign countries lobbying our country. Our country's sold out, and not just to China. And the country that our country's sold out to is something that you can't even say, because they'll call you a certain word if you mention it, not because you're a hateful person, because it's true. And that's how they use to censor people who realize that it's happening. So there's a lot of dynamics to this stuff, but I think you're totally right that people used to get less sick. And I think there's a reason. And I think we're never going to get to that because who's talking about that in politics? I made a video one time of Marianne Williamson. She's not my favorite person. She's definitely not has really bad policies, but she did say something profound in her speech. She was talking about healthcare, and she said, it doesn't even really matter. Bernie healthcare, Trump healthcare, real healthcare starts at the root level. It starts at what you're doing. That was actually really smart. I can't say that much that she said was really smart, but she was totally right about that. Why? Because she's not a politician. She's just like a health guru, like author lady, where she's got very cringy liberal takes on almost everything, where I had to unfollow her because she's wrong about a lot. But she was right about that. She's right about these politicians are like giant sponsored actors. Like Trump is like a huge salesman for Pfizer now. It's like, cool. Oh, I'm gonna make excuses like, wow, yeah, like that'll impress somebody watching Fox News or somebody trusting the plan of 4chan and General Flynn or whatever. No disrespect to General Flynn. I'm just saying, like, to me, like, I don't, that's not, that to me, that just shows what America is. America's like sold out to the highest bidder, two political parties. They're all printing money. They're all working for pharma. They're all bragging about these huge CARES Act, grandiose plans, and, and everybody's falling for it. And to me, that's like none of what they're doing is root level. None of it is, like, almost none of it. So it's all a big game. Oh, anomaly, you don't take a stand. You don't even know where you stand. So you're going to be floating in the wind for 50 years, and your kids are going to keep dying in war, and obesity is going to keep going up, and opioid overdoses are going to keep going up, and more kids are going to keep committing suicide, because it's not a political issue right now. It's an issue that both parties are in on, or at least very rarely care about it. So I'm not taking a stand. You're taking a stand for, I would argue, the wrong things, or something that's not surface level. And these root issues are going to keep going overboard. So that's where I differ, I guess, from other people. On one hand, I voted for Donald Trump. I think he's a better leader in almost every category than Joe Biden. That's pretty obvious to anybody who, I guess there's maybe like one thing you could say about Biden, but for the most part, I think he's inadequate at almost everything. With that being said, I'm not going to sit here like, I'm not so foolish to say, well, everything bad only happened when Biden was here. When Trump was here, everything was perfect. It's like, no, the lockdown started under Trump. Trump still printed money. He still did, I don't even know how much money, $9 trillion in 2020 with all this COVID stuff. He did the testing and the ventilator. Like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, is Joe Biden a downgrade? Of course. But did this all just start in January? No, it didn't. And it didn't even start with Trump. And you could say Obama, and you could say Bush, and you could say Clinton. You could go back 100 years, and you could target certain policies that Reagan did. And you could say Jimmy Carter sucked. And it's like, there's been a lot of good presidents, bad presidents, good presidents who did bad things, bad presidents who did bad things. But overall, it's never going to end, because it's like everyone just runs in circles around these people. And there's certain things that just don't change. That's why I'm not on the same page with a lot of people. They have now convinced themselves all we have to do is get rid of Joe Biden and everything will be right again. And I'm thinking to myself, well, March 2020 until January 2021 was probably one of the darkest times in modern history. And we had a Republican Senate and Donald Trump in the White House. That doesn't mean I'm not a Republican. It just means they didn't save me. They didn't stop the lockdown. They didn't stop the pharmacy funding. They didn't stop the communist printing schemes. They didn't do any of that. They actually bragged about it. They became communists. Like Patrick Howley said, they're further left than Che Guevara. People just don't even realize it. You have Tim Scott on the stage saying, when we did the CARES Act, it was bipartisan. Oh man, see, he's fighting Nancy Pelosi. He's not fighting Nancy Pelosi. He works with Nancy Pelosi. He's bragging about printing trillions of dollars with Nancy Pelosi and funneling it to big pharma and funneling it to the corporations. Those corporations that hate you, where do you think they're getting their money from? From the Republicans who print it and give it to them, just like the Democrats do. So it's like, that's where I differ with people. It's like, people are like, all we have to do is this and then, and I'm like, literally no. It's like, we have to go deeper. That being said, it's incremental, and I do hope to see Republicans dominate the 2022 elections, but there's still a lot to be desired over there, in my opinion. But someone said we should just stop expecting the government to solve problems. It starts with each of us. Free speech, mom. Nailed it. Exactly. I think that's the healthiest, most positive mindset you could have is, hope for the best. But yeah, if your whole life revolves around waiting for Biden or Trump to do something good or bad, it's like we're going to be waiting for a long time. Same with New York. Like, they're doing all this mandate stuff. If Trump was in office, he didn't stop. And please listen to me, because people, like, I can't even say his name and accurately portray something without people like having a panic attack, which is creepy to me. Because I'm like, if I talked about Operation Warp Speed and Obama was bragging about it, no one would care. I'm not picking on him. It just so happens that he was president when he rolled it out. But anyway, during the lockdowns, Donald Trump didn't do anything about the governors. He's like, I can't do anything. So the point I'm getting to is this. If Trump was in office, do you think Mayor de Blasio was going to listen to Donald Trump? Do you think Trump was going to do anything to Mayor de Blasio? No, he didn't. He didn't do anything in 2020. What in the world makes you think he would have done anything in 2021? It's not to say that he's a worse president than Joe Biden. I'm just saying these mandates were coming anyway. This was all coming anyway. He wasn't stopping it. He didn't even barely talk about it in 2020. He didn't really, he's like, and even if he did, it doesn't matter. He had no plan for this. That doesn't mean he's the worst person in the world. That doesn't mean that Joe Biden's better. It just means, like Free Speech Mom said, the government's not going to save you. Trump's not going to save you. DeSantis is not going to save you. Maybe they'll throw you a bone, but it ultimately comes down to you. Whether New York City ends up like Australia or they end up like, the best area of Florida is up to the people in New York City. It's not up to Trump. If they would have voted for Trump, he wouldn't have been able to do anything, or he wouldn't have. It's like, it doesn't mean he's bad. It just means it's up to us. New York City's in the hands of the people there, whether Trump's in office or Biden's in office. He has a local government. There's a governor who runs the state. And apparently the Supreme Court doesn't care about us. And apparently, Donald Trump's federal powers do not or limit him from doing something about that. And that's, I guess, just what it is, So Ryan said, I totally agree with you. Who's disagreeing with you? I'm sure there's people, and honestly, it's fine. It just, as long as you make sense. If you don't make sense, then it doesn't. And I want to show you guys something too, because even some of my favorite politicians are very, very sneaky. They're like professional actors. So I like Kristi Noem, right? She's nice lady. She did a pretty good job with South Dakota. She was against the lockdown. She had Sturgis. So just let me paint this picture for you real quick, and then feel free to Google this, do all the research, and fact check me all you want. So Kristi Noem is against government mandates of vaccinations, right? She says the government should not be able to mandate the vaccine. But then she's a libertarian when it comes to corporations. She's saying, and I'm going to have a debate with somebody, I think, this week. She's saying we shouldn't mandate the corporations. We got to let them decide. So if Walmart wants to do a mandatory vaccine, we just got to let them do it. That's what she says, which is horrible idea. And I'm going to have a debate with somebody on that. Letting the corporations do that is going to end South Dakota. Anyway, so this is her logic is, and I'm going to prove in a second that she doesn't mean anything she says. And people are starting to figure that out, and it's not fun for Kristi Noem. She says, I don't believe that I should infringe on the corporations at all. If they want to do a vaccine mandate, they should be able to do it. Well, Google Kristi Noem passes Israel bill in South Dakota, which makes it basically illegal for corporations to boycott the foreign country of Israel. So when it comes to saving you from vaccine mandates, she doesn't believe in limiting corporations. When it comes to stopping corporations from criticizing Israel, a foreign nation, she does believe in limiting corporations. So this is the Republican Party. This is why when I say they are Zionists, I'm not saying it in a negative way. That's just who they are. They don't care about you. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about what's right. They don't care about Americans. They don't care about freedom. They care about their donors and their lobbyist friends and a foreign country that they are all subservient to. That's not me being mean or hateful against a certain people. That's who they are. Explain to me how you can't stop a corporation from a vaccine mandate, which is a total infringement of liberty, but you can stop them from boycotting a foreign nation. She makes no sense. And none of them do, because they're all frauds. They're all liars. They're all playing you. They all do it. Some of them are better than others, but they mean nothing that they say. You just think they do because they wear a cowboy hat and post an Instagram selfie on a horse, because we all like horses and cowboy hats. That's what they do. And if they don't realize that, oh, well, we can't stop the corporations, then what the hell's the point of voting for you then? What are you going to do? Well, Trump can't stop New York City. Okay, I agree with you. So why do you think he would have stopped New York City? Well, if he was you know what I'm saying? They can do certain things, they can't do certain things, but when push comes to shove, some of these people are not really, who they say they are when it comes to Kristi Noem. So she had no problem infringing on corporations' limits when it came to boycotting Israel. And I'm not even an Israel boycotter. You don't see me. Ben and Jerry's boycotted Israel, and they tried to shut them down. Ron DeSantis said, oh my God, we got to shut them down. All of a sudden now, these libertarians are now not libertarians anymore. They're like full-blown communists when it comes to that. And by the way, Ben and Jerry are both Jewish. So they're not anti Semitic if they're Jewish. I mean, they just disagree with the state of Israel as Jews. Do I agree with them? I don't know because I don't even know why they did it or what they're saying, but they make good ice cream and they're kind of annoying liberals, in my opinion. But I think they should have the right to boycott a country that their ethnic group is from, just like I should be able to boycott Italy or Poland if I wanted to. I just don't want to. I don't boycott countries. That's just not my thing. But that's who the Republican Party is. They protect them, not you. They don't care about you, but you guys love them. That's the problem. It's like Stockholm syndrome. You love these characters. We love our Republicans. We clap when they get on stage, and then they sell us out to the pharmacy industry and whoever. And then they're nowhere to be found. Where's Kristi Noem talking about what's happening in Israel now? The big story in Israel is not the boycott of Ben and Jerry's. The big story of Israel is the fact that they're treating their citizens like crap. They're blaming the Orthodox Jews for, not getting the jab. Now they're admitting that the vaccinated Jewish people are also catching the virus. Now they're forcing a third booster on their people, and Israelis don't all like it. I mean, some probably do, but some don't. So that's the big story out of Israel. If you really care about Israelis, they don't talk about that because they don't give a shit about Israelis and they don't care about Jewish people. They care about Zionism. They care about their rich friends and their donor buddies and the big wigs in the government of Israel or whatever. That's who they care about, not the Israeli citizens, just like they don't care about us. So that's Kristi Noem. Libertarian when it comes to stopping forced vaccination, a full-blown communist when it comes to quashing First Amendment rights of a corporation to boycott a different country that we don't even live in. Carol said, meh, go away. Are you the same Carol that said, I don't take a stand for everything? I must be the most entertaining, horrible person ever because these people are like, I hate you, Anomaly. You don't stand for anything. And then an hour later, you're still here. It's like, I'm going to repeat this again. I'm a busy person. Today, I've done a lot of stuff. I got a new little couch situation. I've done like 7 things today. And I did this and I did an interview and I'm here. I don't have time to sit and watch somebody I don't like for 10 minutes, let alone an hour. I must be awesome. And I'm not trying to brag, but like, if you hate me this much and you're here for an hour, either you need to get a hobby or I must be the best, worst person ever. They're not bots. They're just people that they're like professional, like crabs. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you think I care so much if people don't want to watch my channel? It's not a big deal to me. Like, I'm not such a narcissistic psycho where I need everyone to like me all the time. I'm totally okay with people not liking me. I'm totally okay with people not like, if someone said like, hey, Namli, I don't even watch your videos. Like, I'm not like, you should. I'm like, that's smart. You should go ride a bike or something. Like, but these people come here and sit for hours and they think they're doing something to me. Like, they're like posting stuff. And I'm like, the joke is on you if you're sitting in my stream for an hour. Like, it doesn't bother me. I feed off of it and make jokes out of it because it's funny. It's just like, I genuinely just feel weird about it because I want everyone to be successful. So I feel like there's got to be a better usage of your time. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm just trying to think of like, I don't know. It's not that funny. Like, if it was really funny, I'd be like, okay, it's really funny. Like, you're like streaking at a baseball game or something. Like, ha, 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 ha. Like, but it's not that funny. Like, it's not that funny. It's a waste of time. I'm trying to figure out like why you do it. And it's like public counseling. I'm trying to help you like figure out what you like. Maybe you like chess, watch a chess tutorial. Hey, my name is Frederick Williams, and I'm a 15-year-old chess player from Massachusetts, and, I'll teach you how to be really good with the rook today. Maybe watch that kid. There's 15-year-old chess wizards. You can watch Kasparov or, there's got to be something better than this. There's just got to be. Gene said, damn, I hate half of what you say and really like the other half. 50-50, that's pretty bad, Gene. Thank you for being here, but shit, I mean, 90-10, understandable, 80-20, understandable, 50-50. I like you almost more than other people, Gene. The fact that you don't like half of what I say and you're still here, that speaks volumes. I think you must be a good man, Gene. If if I hated 50% of what somebody said, it would probably piss me off. The only person I could watch that I disagree with like half of what he says is Jimmy Dore. He's, I don't agree with a lot of his policies, but he is a likable guy. So maybe that's a compliment to me, compliment to you. You're a good man, Gene. Let's keep moving on. Hopefully I could get to like 70-30, but if not, as long as you don't like screech at me like Carol, I won't care. You could disagree with 90%. Just don't be annoying. And we love you, Gene. Joseph said lift some weights. I mean, I'm actually pretty strong, but I'm not going to flex here just to like prove you. It's the camera angle makes me look weaker. Someone said, why give gas to the haters, Bubba? What's up, Cameron? It's the opposite. It's not that I give gas to him. It fuels me. I like making a joke. I love a good back and forth. I think it's funny. So if it was like weighing me down, then I wouldn't do it. I read what I see. I scan the comments, and if there's a good one, I'll try to read it. It doesn't bother me. I think it's the other way around. It gives me gas. Not gas like I'm pooping my pants. I'm talking like fuel. Okay, because I don't want to get misconfused. Oh, Anomaly's pulling a Joe Biden. He's up there. Let's calm down. Thank you, Mean. I appreciate it. Amanda said, don't just quote the bad shit. Some of us actually agree with you. Even if we don't agree 100%, we can relate. Well, I just read your comment, Amanda. There you go. You're like, don't just read. I'm like, I just read yours. I'm not trying to only read the bad stuff. I guess I just see how much do I deadlift? I don't deadlift. This is why I don't like pills that much. It's not like I'm a weird person where it's like I don't deadlift. I like to do like pull-ups and push-ups and resistance bands and jumping jacks. Like I like to, you know what I'm saying? I like to bust a move. I like to pull I like to be like a nature boy. I like to go out on hikes at the Grand Canyon. I just pick up a rock and I start like that's more my speed. I'm not like a deadlift. Like I'm just sitting in the gym. Like I'm out hanging on a tree or something. Like that's more my speed. What about squats? I do squats sometimes. I do the jump squats where you squat and then jump. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I like a little bit of everything. You might see me at the ping pong table. You might see me at the volleyball court. You might see me at the pickleball court. You might see me playing basketball. You might see me body surfing. You might see me playing tennis. You might see me playing soccer or football, as my friends in Europe and around the world would say. I like a little bit of everything. I dabble. I like exercise. I love sports. I was a very big athlete growing up, not like big, like, or else you'd know who I was, but I love sports my whole life. I played soccer, basketball. I'm like a sports guy. Someone said, keep talking the truth about health stuff. Yeah. I like a good, healthy move. All right, I'll read a nice comment. People say, why don't you read the nice comments? Here's Crystal. Crystal said, you're awesome. That's another reason, because I don't want to just seem like I'm into myself. Someone's like, you're awesome. Like I appreciate it, but then people are gonna be like, Anomaly's so into himself. You can't win. I read the nice comments, people, but someone says, sorry, those are so miserable. They look to hate. I pray for them. It's fine. it doesn't bother me. Thank you, Crystal, though. I appreciate you. What's pickleball? Pickleball is like a combination of tennis and ping pong. It's smaller than tennis. It's bigger than ping pong. Pickleball is great, and it's gaining a lot of steam among a older demographic because it's easier to play than tennis because you don't have to run as much. But it's also a really good workout. If you're young, like you want your glutes to get sore, pickleball will do it. Pickleball is very fun. Just Google it or something. Look it up on YouTube. Keith said, you sound like Adam Sandler. I like Adam Sandler. Someone said you're very inspirational. Thank you. Someone said Joe killed COVID. Joe, I wanted to put a picture, but I logged off Twitter because I was like, I don't want to get in trouble today. But I wanted to put a picture of like Joe Rogan and then a picture of like Rachel Levine and say, pick your fighter. I'm probably not the first one who's done that. Someone has to have done it before. But like, I just think it's fun. Like everyone's like, Joe Rogan is. It's like, he's in pretty good shape for however old he is. He's like in his 50s, I think, or, he's older than a lot of people think. It's like these people get mad at Joe Rogan and then they like think Rachel Levine is like an icon. I'm not hating on Rachel Levine, but like, that's not the healthiest person I've ever seen. So I don't take advice. Like if I meet Wim Hof, I'll listen to him, Hey dude, you need to learn about breathing. Okay, for sure. Like Wim Hof is an expert. I don't listen to people like Rachel Levine. It has nothing to do with whoever she thinks she is. It's just, that's not like, I would listen to Caitlyn Jenner before I listen to Rachel Levine on some like running, like Caitlyn Jenner would be like, I ran really fast. And I'm like, you definitely did. Like, do you have any pointers? I don't know. At least there's something there. But with Rachel Levine and these other, like the health minister or whatever from Los Angeles, that lady does not look healthy. Let's just put it that way. She's like, you need to lock down. Like, you look like you haven't seen the sun in 5 years. Like, of course you want to block the sun. Like, is that how like, I don't like bowling. Close all the bowling alleys. Like, these people are seriously like authoritarian communists. Like, we get it. You don't like the sun. You don't like to work out. You don't like to eat healthy. You don't like to jog. You don't like to go to the beach. Doesn't mean you could close it for everybody else. You don't work. You don't do anything. You don't want anyone to do anything. Like, these people, I don't get how people listen to these people. Like, it doesn't work on me. I know people will be like, well, you do this, so you have. I don't know that that's true. I seriously think I would not listen to these people even if I had. Well, I would do anything to get away from these people. Like, they're so, I can't take it seriously. But I mean, do I fear the opposition for telling the truth? No. I would say this. I fear God. I definitely fear the consequences of, doing the wrong thing. But as far as doing the right thing, telling the truth, no. But also, here's the thing. There's an old saying, and it's interesting. It's like, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. It's so many times like it's somebody that acts like they're, like the opposition, like people who've been meaner to me the last 2 weeks have been Trump supporters, believe it or not. It's because of the one Trump video I made. I should have used better tone and rhetoric. I really think so. And that's not like a cop out, like I'm so afraid or something. It's just like, I'm thoughtful, and I think I could have been a little nicer. I was a little like, passionate, but people also like passion. But anyway, people, it's not even the opposite. It's like people who agree with 95% of what I'm saying have been crazier because they have built a religion around a political figure. So none of it really scares me, but this is like the world we live in. It's like, I don't know. There's pros and cons to everything. I don't have time to like sit and be afraid of it. Like, I could be afraid of COVID, afraid of getting fired, afraid of liberals, afraid of these people. Like, it seems like a waste of time for me. So I can't say I'm afraid of it, but I would say like, certain things could be draining energy wise. So I try to be very thoughtful of how I spend my energy, because for sure, if you get caught in the wrong rabbit hole or the wrong comment or the wrong energy exchange, things can get very draining. So it is what it is. Someone said Bolshevik Beetlejuice, good stuff, my man. Thank you. I want to say I made that up, but I don't know. I've made up quite a few nicknames. I'm not like the king of nicknames, the king of ventilators, but Grandpa Moderna, Bolshevik Beetlejuice. I definitely made up Grandpa Moderna. Bolshevik Beetlejuice, I think I did. I don't know though. I can't recall. But if I did. Someone said, I'm afraid of wild donkeys rampaging on meth. Is that a real thing that you're afraid of or no? I don't know. Someone said Grandpa Moderna is hilarious. I do think it's funny, but I mean, 2020 motto, draining. Yeah, but it's up to us though. Sometimes draining is good in the sense of like, if you work out a lot, it's not easy, but then you gain muscle mass, etc. You have to sweat in order to like, get stronger and healthier. So some energy drain, like if I play soccer for 2 hours, I'm drained, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like I worked a lot and I got really tired. Now I got to go to bed. So I feel like it's the same with this. You're going to get drained. You're going to be drained from work or drained from family stuff. It's not bad necessarily, but if you're overly drained, like if I wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm on Twitter for 2 hours and it's 9 a.m. and I'm fried at 9 a.m. and I didn't even do anything. I just sat on Twitter and read comments. That's bad. That's a bad energy drain. I didn't play a sport. I didn't make a video. Like, I'm going to be really tired after this. I'm not mad at it because like I've been talking for almost 2 hours. Like that's gonna drain anybody. So, not all energy drains are bad because it's like a car. You run out and you fill up, you go to sleep. But I try to be thoughtful of how I spend my energy, because the worst type of energy drain is sitting on social media and just letting these people suck your energy out and having nothing to show for it. Like I argued with my brother for 100 comments and nothing got accomplished. And now I feel like shit, and now I'm tired. Like that's the worst type of energy drain. I try to avoid that. I'm not perfect at it, but I think I do a better job than people think. I woke up this morning at 8 a.m., 7 a.m. I did an interview at 9, an interview at 10, put the video on at 11, did 2-3 errands, important stuff I have to do for my own life, so I feel like I had a good day, but I'm exhausted now. But it's not a bad thing. All right, 1 or 2 more and we're going to roll out. Thank you guys. We have about 900 people on both social media. So it's a blessing to, we had 4,000 or 3,000. They always go down. It's not a problem. It's just people don't want to watch this long, obviously. But it's nice that even in the later stages of the live stream that people still hang around. I appreciate it. Props on the Lord Jamar video. It was a really good chat. I'm going to take it off YouTube later today. It's on BitChute, Rumble, and stuff. But I uploaded it by mistake. I think my Rumble just uploads automatically to YouTube by mistake, and I got to figure it out. Someone said here in Australia, thank you, Anomaly. You're welcome. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys as well. Someone said Joanne said I'm less aggravated since I was banned on Facebook. Yeah, you got to identify, like for me, Twitter, I would say I spend the most time on and I get the least out of. I would say I get the least out of it financially. There's no way to monetize it. I get the least out of it view-wise, as far as like I want my message to be heard. But I don't know, something about Twitter, I like it's less censored, I feel like, so I could talk more shit on there. But I've been limiting my time on Twitter and it's been fantastic. If I spend too much time on Twitter, probably like you on Facebook, I actually don't spend any time on Facebook. This is my little secret. I don't even use Facebook. In my personal page, I don't post at all. I don't read anything. I don't know. I just don't do it. So I use Facebook through my artist page, but as far as it's not my addiction. I have other ones. Twitter, I'm worse at. Instagram, I'm not bad. I'm not that bad at. Someone said Twitter is garbage. I have it blocked for the most part. Discipline's important. If you can stay off it and not like Twitter sucks you in so quickly. I guess Facebook does too, and Instagram, but like once I'm sucked in, I feel like I'm trapped in social media. I'm like, help. And you just, it's like, I don't even want to look at my phone, but I'm just like, I can't get away from it. That's the worst feeling. You're like laying down or something, and it's like, I'm not even having fun, and I'm just on Twitter. I'm like, somebody take it out of my hand. Like, I wish someone would come and slap it out of my hand. And I'm like, oh my God, that was terrible. I don't know. Like, that's how I feel like when I'm on Twitter. I don't even like it. I don't want to be there, but I can't put it down. They probably have AI algorithms and stuff to like suck me in. That's like people on Facebook. You get in the middle of an argument. It's like, you don't want to argue, but you also don't want to like lose the argument or whatever. So it's just like, and I'm like, the best moments of my life when I just put my phone down. I'm like, oh my God, like that was intense. Like, what happened? You're like, Twitter argument, some guy talked shit to me today on Twitter, and he just had a Charles Barkley picture. I think his name was like Charles Barkley or something, like Charles Barkley with a fly or something weird like that. And he's like, oh yeah, a white rapper says. And I was like, okay, Charles Barkley account with like, it just made it last month. I responded to him because I just thought it was funny. I'm like, this like random Charles Barkley account's like yelling at me on Twitter. It's such a weird world. Think about how weird that is. People don't get like, where else in life? Like, imagine being at a bar or you're somewhere with your friends. You're just hanging out. You're watching sports. You're having a good time. You're drinking a beer, whatever. And like some guy comes up to you with like a Charles Barkley helmet on and says, oh yeah, you white rapper. Huh? And like, that would never happen. And if it happened at a bar or at like a restaurant, it would be really weird. Like, it wouldn't be fun, right? You'd be like, who the hell's this guy? And then someone comes out, it's like, Raiders fan 44745, and they're like, you Trump supporter piece of trash, COVID killer, baby. And then like, it's such a bad, like, it's unlike anything else. Like, this doesn't happen in the real world. You don't get in arguments with somebody in Colorado over nothing for an hour. Like, social media kind of sucks. Like, on one hand, it's the greatest thing ever, On the other hand, it's like the worst thing ever. It's like the yin and yang, where like my best moments on you, I'm like, wow, this changed my life. YouTube, Facebook, I'm an influencer. Oh my God, I'm so cool. I do things on freaking Facebook. And the worst moments, I'm like yelling at somebody, you know, in New Zealand that I'm never going to see, that has a fake profile picture of a cat that just made his account ago. And I've been talking to him for 3 hours laying in my bed. It's like the dumbest, you know, it's like the best and the worst at the same time. So discipline's important, because I get caught in shit like that too. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, and when would this be pleasurable in any other situation? It wouldn't be. Like, I want to see the guy's name, Charles Barkley or something. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Let me see. It's pretty funny though. I want to find it. Oh, yeah, Charles Barkley, and it's just a picture of Charles Barkley. I don't know. He's got 1 follower. He's got 1 follower, and I'm just like responding to him. But I didn't take that much time. I just thought it was funny. I was like, who the frick is this guy? So funny. I think it must be like a liberal that just made a Twitter or something. It's the virtual gulag. It's so bad. Someone said I found you on Facebook. So yeah, I'm so grateful for social media. It's changed my life for the better. No question. It's amazing. But that's why it's like discipline. Okay, this is so great. Like, I'm doing very well on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, Instagram. Like, this is so great, but it's like, this is my new game. Pop in and then pop out, right? Pop in, do what you got to do, and then get the F out. That's the best way to do social media. It's like, once they can suck you in, it sucks. It's like a succubus. But yeah, it's definitely also amazing. Like, you found me, I found you. It's just people need to. That's why even like people are like, you don't stand for anything. No, like, I'm dead serious. I'm not. It's not a cop out. I'm just saying, like, besides Biden and Trump and Democrats and Republicans, your life will be more impacted based on how much time you spend on your phone and what you spend it on. You know what I'm saying? I had a moment. I said it the other day, so I'm gonna make it quick, but I was watching stock, Dogecoin, crypto. It was driving me crazy because I'm just watching my money go up, my money go down. I felt like now I get why those people at Goldman Sachs have so much stress, because it's like, oh my God, I'm losing, I'm making money. I probably lost out on money, but I don't even care. Like, money is not everything, but also I stopped just looking at my phone so much and doing this so much. And I started going to the beach more. I started going on walks more. I started working out more. I had the greatest summer of my life because I just got the hell off of the internet. I got the hell off of Robinhood and these stock apps. I might have lost out on a lot of money, but I don't regret a single moment of it, because I stopped staring at my freaking computer from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. panicking every time Dogecoin went up and down. I'm like, what the frick why do I have so many Dogecoin? I probably could have been a Dogecoin millionaire. I had 1.6 million Dogecoin at one point when it was like nothing. And then it went up to like 60 cents. I could have been a millionaire, and I blew it every single time. All I do is screw up on crypto, but I don't even care anymore, because I'm like, whatever, it could have been, should have been. F that whole thing. I don't even care if I lose money. I don't care if the petrodollar collapses. I'm getting my ass to the beach, or I'm going to work out outside. And that was the smartest thing I ever did. So it's like, I could complain about Joe Biden, or my Operation Warp Speed takes can make people so mad. But overall, it's like Biden or Trump, whatever. It's like, if I just get out of my own head and get out of my own schedule, my life will get way, way better, way quicker than me complaining about one of those two, even if they bother me or something happens. Like, and I say that for myself too. It's not like just for you. It's like, that happened for me, you know, and that's it's not like a cop out. It's like, I'm serious. Like, the lady that's yelling at me on Facebook, the irony is, she's probably a prime target of like, yeah, you probably could use a few less, you know, hours yelling at me on Facebook. That can't be fun, or maybe it is. And when I say that, I don't want people to get misconstrued, because then some people think I'm yelling at them. They're like, I'm a lady. I'm like, I'm not talking to you. We love ladies, grandmas, moms. We love everyone here. I'm not talking to every lady, but I have one conversation with one lady, and people are like, oh, you yell at ladies like that? I'm like, I'm not yelling at a lady. Someone said something, I respond. Like, people take it so personal. Like, I say one thing, like, not all of us are like that. I'm like, I didn't say you were all. Like, what? I got to just watch what I say, because people take it the wrong way. Someone said Pirate Change is my pick. I'm all out of all of it. I'm done with. I'm pretty much retired. I don't know if it's going to take off or not. I just can't. I can't spend my energy with that. I'm looking at it. I'm watching it go up. Now I'm just writing it off. I hope everybody makes money, but I need to tap out of that. Someone said it said your stream wasn't available. Whatever. All right, a few more minutes and I'm gonna roll out. Someone said Anomaly respects his women. I mean, I definitely try to be respectful, but I think I don't know, if someone says something rude, I'll just like respond. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I try to be respectful, but if like someone named like Sarah yells at me, I'll just be like, "Hey Sarah, what's your deal?" Haha. Like, I'm just trying to be funny. It's like a live show. It's like calling in and saying something. I answer and everyone's like, he answered. I'm like, I answer thousands of people. Maybe I should focus on the better, but I don't know. I think it's funny, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's mean or something. I don't know. I in my own head, this is all really funny. In a lot of people's perspective, it's really funny. In others people's perspective, it's the worst thing in the world. I'm like, a 20-foot giant Godzilla, like stomping on women's rights or something. But I don't like, Anomaly, do you really think women shouldn't vote? And I'm like, do you really want to hear my opinion? No, I'm just kidding. But in general, I'm like, can I not make a joke about, like, I don't know. To me, it's funny to say certain things, but like, I'm trying to figure out what's not going to make people mad. Because conservatives are so free speech until you make a joke about something they don't want to hear, and all of a sudden you're a sexist or something. Like, in my opinion, I thought it was hilarious to say, they were like liberal women that were like calling the Taliban their brothers or something, like brothers. And I'm like, they could use some Sharia law, and I tagged my Muslim friend in it, Nabil. I was like, Nabil, she could use some Sharia law. Don't you think so? And I'm not even joking. I guess it's funny, but I'm like, I seriously think that woman would be better under Sharia law. I'm not a Muslim. It's not my thing. However, when I see this like psychotic, like liberal woman, and she's like being really annoying and saying the Taliban are her brothers, even though she believes in nothing the Taliban believes, I am joking, but I'm also like, I seriously think she'd be better off under Sharia law in the Taliban. Oh my God, you hate women? No, I just think that woman has no discipline, and a year with the Taliban would change that. And it's also funny to say. I don't know. I can't joke about women stuff now. Maybe it's not right, but I don't know. It's like never mind. I'm just going to get myself in trouble, but it's like part of a joke, but also I'm like no, she'd probably learn quite a few things and come, and I say that to my friends too. There's this chick that I'm friends with, and she was Muslim or something. She's not anymore. And she was doing something. I was like, you need Sharia law. And she's like, haha. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, you really do. But it's like, it's funny to say as like a jab, but I'm also thinking in my head, like, maybe it's true too. I don't know. That's my sense of humor. I just think it's funny, but everyone's like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, let's not go there. Someone said, please joke. Oh, trust me, I will. Some of your replies are hilarious, man. The joke about you shilling for NutriBar was classic. Thank you. I try to be funny. She would get schooled for sure. Yeah, well, I think these are the two extremes. We talk about it a lot, but you have like the liberal extreme where they have no filter, and it drives a lot of women insane. I mean, some women do great things, but other women, they have no, like, sometimes you got to close the door and have discipline. So you take one of these women that are like blogging from their San Francisco apartment, and they're like, it's like, I don't know. I would love to, if I were a reality show producer, it would be, San Franciscoans go hang out with the Taliban. Like, that's like the Kardashians for me. You bring these liberal women that have no discipline, and you send them to Afghanistan to live under the Taliban, and you film it. And then at the end, you realize that the women are actually better off and happier under Sharia law because they stop being so psychotically liberal. And, then Christians and Muslims bond and, world peace. I see this being a big deal. My other idea is send Antifa, or I guess like progressive liberal, like the far left people, even if they're peaceful, send them to the south side of Chicago with like social worker like badges or something, and let's see what happens, and just film them, and hopefully they don't get shot. But overall, I think that's a good reality show, just sending like left wingers to the south side of Chicago to implement their progressive policies. Oh yeah, give them $1 trillion just to show Give them as much money as they need. Oh, we'll build a school. We'll do this. All it is money. Okay, I'll give you $50 trillion. Go to south side of Chicago with a badge on and try to fix it. Maybe they could. And the world would, the country, maybe they couldn't. Another one I have is, who wants to be a homeless? I mean, these are free ideas for all these losers in Hollywood that can steal my ideas. Who wants to be a homeless millionaire? Just give a homeless guy $1 million. That's it. Just film him. He'll probably just blow it on hookers and just like end up on crack like tomorrow. But would make some pretty good reality comedy. And it's not to make fun of their situation, but who wants to be a homeless millionaire? Give a random homeless guy, hey, sir. He's like, yeah, what? And I'm like, you're a millionaire. He's like, what? Not. I'm like, you're a millionaire. You're like, what do you mean? You know me, I'm Anomaly from A Dream Rare from Instagram. This is Regis Philbin. You remember him from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Oh, fucking Regis Philbin. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to give you $1 million cash. Here's a credit card. It's yours. Yeah, you're a millionaire. Go, come on. Whatever you want to do. He goes to McDonald's, buys like a Happy Meal, passes out, wakes up, like goes to a strip club, like does heroin. I'm just saying it would be a lot more interesting than these shows that they do. Who Wants to Be a Homeless Millionaire? It's a hit. Because of politics, I don't have these high level positions, but if I did, the television would be way better off. And that's not to make fun of homelessness, but it is to capitalize and capitalists make a movie out of it. Or oh, is Regis dead? If he's dead, rest in peace. I love me some Regis Philbin. I didn't know he was dead. Rest in peace if he is. Well, they have technology. They got stem cells, freezing Walt Disney's body. We could bring him back to life. We can get Ruben. If he really is dead, we'll get him back. Trust me. We all know somebody that knows somebody. Let's put it that way. We'll bring him back. Someone said, guess that's why bum fights were popular back in the day. Yeah, there's something interesting about like ratchet fighting, right? Like World Star Hip Hop. You just have like two women just scratching each other in the face. Like, get the hell out. And everyone's like 2 million views. I always hated that. I always hated like ratchet fights and stuff. I just don't like to see people fighting. I guess I like boxing and UFC, but like just seeing like a hood fight, like people love that. So I was always like slap in the face with a purse. She like gets a bat. Everyone's like, dude, you got to see this part. I'm like, dude, I don't want to see this chick in like Miami get hit in the head with a bat. Like, that's not fun for me. But like some people love that shit. They're like, no, dude, trust me, you're going to want to watch this. But I'm like, dude, I don't want to see this random chick get like mauled. Like it's painful for me to watch knowing that these are not professionals. And it's not like they signed up for this. They're just like pissed off over like an Instagram post or something. Like it's not fun, but some people like it. Someone said television is corrupt. It's true. Oh, he is dead. Rest in peace, Regis. We'll get him back. Trust me. Someone knows. The Cash Me Outside. That was a very good marketing scheme. She became very successful. I'm wondering if that was even real. I'm not saying she's fake, but like Dr. Phil, she came from a reality show. Like, was that organic or was that finesse? I don't know, but something about that smells funny to me. But I'm not one to judge. Someone said Moderna will bring Regis back. Insert name here. That was funny. Thoughts on Jake Paul? I didn't see the fight, but I think he's a good boxer. I mean, he's not like the best, but as far as a YouTuber turned boxer, I think he's a talented boxer. He works really hard at it, and he's a smart businessman. I mean, Jake Paul was the brother of Logan Paul, who Logan Paul used to do like funny, like jackass style, like videos on social media, just like being a prankster. So I would say he's doing fantastic. I don't know, the brother of a prankster who turned into a boxer making millions of dollars, and he's pretty good at boxing. It's not the best in the world, but he's pretty good for like an amateur boxer, and he works hard at it. I got nothing bad to say about him. I don't know much drama or gossip going on, but it's a good come up for him, I think. Someone said Woodley lost his welterweight title and lost the last 3 fights. I didn't see that fight. I missed that whole fight. Kind of went past me. So I heard he fought and won on the decision. I didn't see the fight, so I don't really have an opinion. And to be honest, even if I did see the fight, I'm not that skilled at boxing scores to fully understand how to score it. I understand boxing. I get more than maybe most, but I'm not that good with boxing as far as I love watching. I get it. I've watched enough and learned enough to understand, but I wouldn't know if they said, "Hey, you're the judge." I wouldn't know how to judge, to be honest. I don't understand the full measure of how they judge each round. So I wouldn't really know. I would just feel like someone won. I'd be like, I feel like Jake Paul won, or I feel like he got robbed. But as far as like technically, I don't really know what I'm talking about. Someone said, Rachel, listen, Raina, please be respectful to Rachel Levine here. We love Rachel Levine. So let's not say anything rude, because listen, when it comes to the government, they love you. And when it comes to Rachel Levine, she loves health. Okay. There's nobody healthier in this country than Rachel Levine. So let's not go out here with this hate speech and this, oh, this is that, and that's this. Like, that's one person who's really, really going hard for the health of America. If you don't end up looking like her sometime, maybe maybe the Moderna's not, maybe it's booster shot time. Let's just put it that way. But don't listen to me. I'm not the booster king. We got to listen to the FDA. Oh, wait, no, the FDA people are stepping down. So I don't know. Whoever takes over their position, they'll let you know. Okay. Let's not jump out of our booster seats quite yet. Okay. There's a lot of shots coming. Not for me, but for others. Do I think AB 1102 will pass in California? I don't know. I've seen that. I know they're being sneaky. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think there's going to be a moment where people are going to have to pull their weight, and I'm optimistic about California, but I could be wrong, and I could be on my way out of California in 2 years. So I don't know. I'm optimistic, but we'll see what happens. Vote yes on the recall. Someone said the government loves you to death. I get what you did there. Wilbur, that's a good one. People are roasting Rachel in the comments. I'm not reading them, but I will laugh at them. Someone said save the world one video at a time. I don't think I'm saving the world. I'm just doing what I can. And in some cases, it's very minimal. But if everybody does a little bit, that's all we need. Biden super duper faster than warp speed FDA approval. No, excuse me. It wasn't Joe Biden. Okay. I did it so fast. Nobody did it faster. Okay. I don't know how to do a Joe Biden impression, but I don't know if that's like this game they play. Like, man, you think Trump did it fast. Wait till you see how fast Joe Biden does it. He's faster with it's like, it's not a race, but I guess that's like what some people want. They're we got to get this booster very soon. We need, nothing's going to stop this pandemic like warp speed vaccines. I'm like, we'll see how it plays out, but I forgot to add in, I don't want to cover it now because it's too late, but the NBA has a crazy policy. They have a new COVID policy, and it's like psychotic. I might cover it tomorrow because I'm reading it. They're making home players not be able to use the arena in some cases, and it only applies to them. Like Nets players can't do certain things, but the visiting team can do it. I'm like, the hell? Like, it's seriously like a game of musical chairs. Like, they're just messing with people. And like people are just like going along with it. I don't know. I gotta just laugh at it, or else I just get annoyed. Someone said poop your pants would be a good impression. I think I do a pretty good, like, I'm trying to think of one thing Biden does. He'll do like the come on, man. I think I do the come on, man pretty good in the corn pop, but that's all right. Hey, come on, man. It was like 4 days ago, man. Come on, man. It's like, you ever get like a pull string doll? It only says like 3 things. That's like me. It's like, come on, man. Corn pop. I got to go back to the drawing board on that one. I'm not that good. I'm a two-trick pony when it comes to Biden. People caught on to my scheme. DA said, how did you grow your base? I am about to start making videos to spread more awareness. Any advice? Thank you for the super chat. And DA, thank you for asking a question outside of politics. I love answering political questions, but most people, before I answer, they don't go live and answer this many questions. So like I'm not gonna say I'm a full open book, but for the most part, I love to help out and do stuff. So thanks for asking like a useful question. Is smart. For $10, you get an answer out of me. But growing my base took a long time. So I'm not gonna do that long-winded of an answer, but I started posting videos in 2008, okay, or maybe 2007. That's when I started posting videos to YouTube. I started rapping, freestyling, and at that time, I had a lot of different tactics that don't work anymore because there's different algorithms and such. But I was a very persistent person. I think persistence is important. Persistence and self-awareness to understand what you could do better at. Because I held myself back for a while, being too stubborn and not getting better. I did everything I could. I was rapping on different beats, trying to get this, entering contests. Someone actually brought it up. They said, I remember you, Anomaly, from the Air Timpani remix. That's a 2009 contest that I won. And I got a lot of views on YouTube because I won a contest for rapping. I was one of 6 winners. So I built a small audience, then I built and built and built. But without boring you to death, it took 12 years. And I'm not saying it's going to take you that long. Some people do it quicker. 12 years. I've made thousands of videos. I've worked my ass off. I've done hundreds of songs people have never even heard and hundreds of videos people don't even care about to get to this point. I got better every time I made a live stream. Hopefully I got better every time I made a rap video. And I just followed my heart and followed my passion. And I didn't even mean to be a speaker. This was not ever planned or desired. It just kind of happened naturally because I got tired of the media. But I would say the most important things would be, first of all, good content, right? Whatever you do, whatever videos, whatever, good content. And that doesn't even mean high production. Production definitely helps, even though I don't do it that great. But you know, how good is it? That's important. Don't ever get mad at other people and be like, why is no one listening? There's a reason. And it doesn't mean you suck, but then you got to get better at advertising. Never play the victim. Always try to figure out how to grow. Make good content. Have persistence. It doesn't happen quickly. It doesn't happen easily. There's going to be thousands of people that tell you no. There's going to be hundreds of people that tell you you're never going to make it. So persistence, hard work, being able to evolve and learn and grow and get better and be realistic with yourself and think outside your own head. Don't think, oh, people should listen to me because I'm me. Understand why people aren't listening to you. There's got to be a reason. For instance, when I started rapping, one of the biggest skills that I had was I knew no one cared about me. You know, I understood right away, I'm a white rapper. I'm in West Virginia. Nobody gives a shit about me. But I didn't lie to myself and say, oh, everybody should love me. I'm like, no one cares about me. Why should they? But I knew that. So I figured out, how do I get people to care about me? Some people, they just push it on their friends and they get pissed. My friends aren't sharing my videos. Like, dude, if you want to be bigger than that, you can't just harass your friends all the time. You got to figure out, how do I get in front of people? How do I get more views? How do I get more eyes on it? So long-winded answer. I do consulting. I'm not trying to sell it, but I haven't done it in years because I've been busy, but I've worked in social media. I've done consulting, but in general, persistence, all the things I mentioned. And yeah, there's a lot of different like strategies and stuff. But if you care enough and you work hard enough, you'll figure it out. And I want to say this too, in the last 4 years, I want to say maybe the last time I ran an ad was like 2016 on a song or something. I don't think I've run an ad. Maybe I'm wrong on something, but I don't recall. I haven't run a single advertisement since, I don't think, 2016 or maybe 2017. So the last 4 or 5 years, my biggest years, if I showed you my stats on Facebook, $0. I'm not bragging. It's not a competition, but I'm just saying, like, most people that are pretty big, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, they're spending a lot of money on advertisements. Doesn't mean they're bad. They have more money, bigger businesses than me, and that's smart. It's actually smart to do it, but it's also pretty impressive that I haven't. I'm not saying I'm better, or I'm just saying, like, all 750 million of these views that I have, not a single one was paid for. So I've organically reached this many people for the most part. And And there's a way to do it, I guess. Just a lot of work, etc. Hopefully that wasn't too long-winded, but I do like to help people and explain it. But if you care about something and you are determined, that's going to be the deciding factor. Not giving up, adapting, going through hard times. Someone said, I started watching you when Roseanne interviewed you. That's awesome. I love Roseanne. Thank you, Astro. I appreciate it. Someone said, good advice. Anomaly, you're so sweet. Yeah, I don't even think of it as advice, but I guess just like a game plan, I think it helps. And I had a lot of times where things went down. I mean, I had no money. I had people tell me I couldn't do it. I went from getting a lot of views to no views. I had a lot of views early on, and I lost a lot of traction for multiple reasons. And I don't know, in my head, I always had this idea like, oh, I got to go. I got to keep going. I'm a very hard worker. Ironically, because I did terrible in school, but I mean, I put in a lot of work, and that's why now I'm so grateful, and I keep working now because I'm my own boss. I do all this stuff. I don't want to stop. I don't want to. Oh, I got one big video. Like I love what I do. I'm grateful, but I've also struggled for a long time. So now that I'm doing well, I don't want to stop. You know why? Like I worked 12 years, and at this point, I'm doing better than I did, a couple years ago. So it definitely helps to struggle too. I think it puts things in perspective. If things are too easy, you don't appreciate them, So I'm grateful for the hard times because now once I started connecting, some people have one big video, two big videos. I'm dishing out thousands, and it's because I don't know. I figured out what I'm doing, and I'm like, I better keep doing this. Someone said, I like how humble you are. Well, I appreciate that. Others would say the opposite. Many would say that I'm the opposite, but I think I am. But if you say you're humble, it reminds me of the movie Pop Star with Andy Samberg. He makes a song called I'm So Humble, and the whole song is how like not humble he is. It's pretty funny. If you've ever seen that movie, it's actually really funny. I was on Tinfoil Hat. Was that Sam Tripoli's podcast? I was. I liked him. I'm sorry. I liked Sam Tripoli and his team. They were super cool. Thank you, 2 Mops. I appreciate it. Thank you, Joanne. That's how I found him on Tinfoil Hat. Sam's cool, man. I was in the studio with him, Sam Tripoli. Super nice guy. His team was super cool. I really liked him. I really enjoyed talking to him, and would do it again. Super nice guy. If you still follow Sam, tell Sam I said hi, and hope everything's going well. He's a good guy. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate it. Do I still have coffee? Yeah, I should probably stop drinking it, but it's okay. Someone said, it just occurred to me this week listening to an old playlist, the song Money, Money, Money in relation to Trump's show. I love Trump's show. That was kind of one of the first red pills, I think, when they were like, Trump is such a piece of trash. He's a reality star. I love The Apprentice. I love that song, but it's an OJ song, Money, Money, Money. It's a great song. If you listen to the song, it's a very deep song. I love The Apprentice. I thought it was a brilliant show, and I thought it was not just a reality show. It was an entrepreneurial show. It taught you skills. I learned a lot of business, through my entrepreneur class, but also The Apprentice was like very inspiring. So that kind of was one of the first media things where I was like, he's not like a Kardashian. Like Trump's not Kim Kardashian. Like the Apprentice was not that, but yeah, that song's great. And The Apprentice was a really cool show, I thought, for the time. There's not a lot of good TV shows, but that has meaning. Kind of like I always used to joke about years ago. I haven't in a while, but what's that guy's name? Mark Cuban. He hates Donald Trump so much, right? He's such a knockoff Donald Trump. Like he made Shark Tank. You think Mark Cuban would have made Shark Tank without Donald Trump's Apprentice? It's like a cookie cutter Apprentice remake. I'm not saying it's not a different premise. It's great, but there's no question that they looked at Apprentice and said, let's make our own version of that. So I'm like, you hate Donald Trump, but you crafted your whole life to be like a knockoff version of him. So I feel like Mark Cuban was always so nasty to Trump for all the wrong reasons. and he's like a mini Trump, you know? Someone said, "You're fired." Yeah. Mark Cuban didn't make Shark Tank. Well, he capitalized off it. I'm sure he didn't invent it. All right, one more question. I stayed too long. Frank said, "Hello from Chicago. Much love. Keep doing what you're doing." Thank you. Appreciate it. Lily said, "Anomaly, watching you makes me feel less afraid." Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Be very cognizant of what you watch, you know, because it's like, I'm gonna end on this note. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad I make you less afraid. There's millions of things going on all the time, right? It's like, can you do something about it? Then you got to do it. If you can't, you know, then don't worry about it. You have to think that way because Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's a factory of people's opinions. It seriously can be miserable. Like, you know, when I wake up in the morning, people are messaging me all this stuff. I appreciate it, but it's too much. It's not fun. Like, I love to just like relax and, you know, just don't let that become your world, because yes, there's bad things going on, yes, there's good things going on, but your world also becomes what you intake. So just be very careful of that, and I try to reflect on that a lot recently, and do it publicly, because I think it not only helps me but it helps other people. So I think, you know, things can seem terrible, things can seem great. You can make the most of it. You're going to be down some days, but don't be deathly afraid of any of this stuff, because they want that to happen. You know, that's like part of the game, where I'm not pessimistic. Seriously, I seriously think it's not going to work forever. Um, it's everybody's not going to want to get booster shots forever. Like, at a certain point, they're going to play themselves, and then the pendulum's going to swing back. It's got to. And if it doesn't, it's going to be a wild ride. We still have to make the most of it, but I feel good about it, and hopefully you do too. God bless you guys. God bless your family. Appreciate you guys. The hats. Thank you to everybody tagging me on Dream Rare with the hats. I try to share them. They're at godblesshats.com. A lot of people have been getting them. Everybody looks good in them. Not everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody looks good. I'm just being mean. But no, thank you guys so much. I just want to make a joke, but thank you. Godblesshats.com. I think we still have some shirts and stuff. I'll try to get some new designs, new black hats, and I'm going to try to get my book done by Christmas. I've been slacking, but not really. I've just been doing other stuff. I'm trying to get my book done by Christmas. If I don't do it, make fun of me. I'm a loser and I blew it. But live stream tomorrow for Facebook supporters only. We'll do a Facebook supporters only live stream. Sorry I missed the deadline of August. I'll get to in September. And it's been a crazy busy month, but it's been great. I'm not mad at it. It's just been, I've had a lot of stuff on my plate. So thanks for being understanding. Appreciate everybody for watching. I'll be back very soon. And that's what it is. Follow me on Telegram, t.me/DreamRareChat. And I post certain things like my Lord Jamar interview that are not going to last that long on YouTube, because we talked about too much awesome stuff, unfiltered, and it's more of a BitChute Rumble conversation, because Facebook and YouTube are not they're not into like free speech. So I'm more of a BitChute Rumble guy. We'll keep promoting alternate platforms as well. I'll do interviews for those. So hopefully Facebook and YouTube learn their lesson and stop being so psycho. All right. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you soon.